Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the official AIM Lab channel and also on my YouTube channel here. We're about to get started in just a hot second. We're going to be doing a pre-show event on AIM Lab. We're going to be timestamping this, discussing the AIM Lab portion, how does this impact your aim on Apex Legends, and we're going to be shoutcasting all of this live. This is going to be a really fun event. We have some really big names lined up here for you today. We have team captains of AC, TSM Aberlily, Prize, Baby Nikki, Drag, Drumbum, Force, Hawkus, Janie, Noob King Promos, Reptar, RKN, Rocker, Rogue, Sweet, Synced, Paxi 2G, Vane, and Zenial. We have quite the roster. They have tons of teammates such as Imperial Hal, Omnu, His, Watson, Drop, Deltouche. We have a full group here. We have a very, very exciting group, so give us 2 seconds and we're going to segue to those that are already on the pre-show for AIM Lab. Appreciate everyone for hopping in. We're going to get started. Let's just welcome everyone. Kara, FPS, Lolly, Raceway, Templo, Amy, Mason, Parker. We got a full list of people. Hopefully you guys are all excited. Let me switch over just 2 seconds. We're just announcing that we're live on our various social channels, and then we're going to get underway. Appreciate all of you guys for being so patient while we get started, and let's just get into it. So what's going to happen here at the very start of the hour is the pre-show. So the pre-show is actually entailing, let's actually go to that now. Let's take a look at what's going on. I'm just going to switch over to the camera, just say hi to everybody. Hello. We're going to segue here into the in-between. Every once in a while you see Apex on the screen. Don't worry, we got Apex lined up for all of you gentlemen. And let's just segue over to AIM Lab. Let's take a look what's going on right now. We got Sweet. He is practicing right now and warming up for this Invitational, which is, let's see if we can pull up his comms. He's super focused right now. I don't even hear him saying anything. The goal right now of what you're going to see, and we'll timestamp this on the YouTube side of things, is to make sure everyone right now is warming up on AIM Lab. They're all fighting for a prize pool of $5,000 on the AIM Lab side of who can get the highest score for sphere track precision. Now, the reason we chose this scenario is that this really, really goes in line with everything that you're doing with Apex Legends when you're trying to track. And look at that, 14, Sweet.
2% better?
2% better. He's already doing a lot better. So he's already getting a higher score. This is only going to go on for a short minute while the servers are lined up and we are getting started. And let's see if Rogue on his end, how he's doing. And he's already going underway. So looks like Sweet already had a pretty high score of 114. And let's see, let me mute up Sweet here and let's go over to Rogue and let's take a look at his POV. Rogue is intense. He's already at 80%. The man infamous for his R301, and we call it the Rogue loadout, the R301 with the infamous EVA 8. Even though the EVA 8 has been nerfed, my man knows how to aim and get his accuracy on point. We'll see if this warm-up actually helps him in the tournament, and we'll take a look to see how things are going. We'll take a look here at Imperial Hal in just a hot second as well. Oh, look at him. He's already getting really close. This is actually really close. He's already topping Sweet in his score. He's going for 120K. Very nice. Not his top score. It looks like he's already got a few. They're going to submit them in. At the very end, we're going to find out the winners of the Apex Legends tournament as well as the AIM Lab portion as well. So this is pretty exciting to see of what we're going to warm up on. Let's see what Imperial Hal score is, and Lyric isn't live right now. That's perfectly fine. So Hal is probably already, I think he did his portion, so we'll go back to him in just a second. Let's continue to see how Rogue is doing on his end. He's got some of the jams going. He's vibing out, having a good time. Frankie, welcome to the channel. Good to have you here. Welcome, everyone. If you're enjoying what you see, be sure to leave a like on the YouTube side. Say hello on the AIM Lab side, because we're going to be doing hot action here, capturing all the great moments and capture all the POIs and guide you through the tournament for today. So this is a pre-show. A lot of money on the line already. Let's see how Rogue does on a second attempt, and then we'll switch over to Sweet and see how he's doing on his portion. And then we'll break down the teams, who's participating, the scores, how it's going to happen, and break it all down. So right now, Rogue has got he's actually grinding out aim lab quite a bit. I can tell he's got some nasty accuracy. It definitely breeds over from his R301 usage. You can kind of see from his micro movement. If he can control this at a pretty stellar rate, then that makes sense why his R301 is so smooth. So really, really nice from what we're seeing there. Let's give a shout out to everyone in chat. Welcome to the Aim Lab channel, especially on the YouTube side of things as well. Kimmy, Sketchy, Echo Byte. Good to have all of you guys here. We're only going to be doing the Aim Lab portion in a minute. People are submitting their scores over, letting everyone know how they're doing. And only a short minute here in just a minute. Look at the score. Not as good as his first one, but listen, you know, it's all about that consistency and seeing how we're doing. Let's see how Sweet is doing on his portion. Looks like he already wrapped up and is loading Apex Legends. He got his 3 attempts in. Let's see if we can go back through his VOD and let's take a look at some of those moments, shall we? Let's see whenever he first pulled it up and see how he did. Which is good. It's good to warm up. It looks like Sweet actually definitely put some of the hours in and the time in to make sure he was warmed up for his portion. Everyone looked like they got started pretty early, which is also good to do as well.
She just had an.
There we go.
She just had an update for the NZX team.
There we go. All right, so let's take a look at some of the scores that we saw from Sweet here. This looks like it was his first attempt, so we'll take a look. Remember, Rogue definitely had a higher score overall, but I think he broke through it, so we'll take a look. Remember, there was quite a few that are participating. There's lots of people streaming right now. We're just taking some of the highlights from some of the crew. We have those that are streaming. We have AC, TSM Aberlelli, Prize, Baby Nikki, Drumbum, Force Watt, Hawkus, Janie, Reptar. And at the end of the tournament for today, we're going to let you know Aberlelli got 123K. We'll take a look at his stream in just a moment and see how he did. That's a pretty darn good score. Let's see how Sweet is doing. This is actually a tournament that is presented by Aim Lab, so a huge shout out to Aim Lab and also by Sweet. This was a big team effort. Shout out to Marianas, who's helping out in the back end, and all of the Aim Lab team to put this all together and make sure everyone is getting situated and hopping in. So in about a few more minutes, we'll hop in and we'll take a look at everything. SyncDes got 136K. That's insane. We'll take a look at his stream actually and see if we can capture. We'll go through the VOD and look through it and see how he did. So the question is, a 6-match tournament. This is going to be a 5-match because of the first part here is going to be Aim Lab specific, which is what you're seeing here. Sweet is going underway. We'll tally all the scores at the very end of the tournament. This is a pre-show while everyone hops in, gets comfortable, make sure everyone is warmed up for the tournament, and we're going to get the action underway for you guys, and we're going to recap how Aim Lab impacted. So it looks like Sweet got a score of 112. While we look at his next portion, it looks like Rogue is going again. Let's see if he's going again. Hal is in the lobby right now, and then we will grab Sync's portion. That's a really great score that Sync got, if that's his high score that he had there. Let's take a look here. So individuals should be starting to hop in to the servers in just a hot minute. So the pre-show event, everyone's warming up for the tournament. Everyone is utilizing Aim Lab just to get comfy and get set up. Let's take a look at Sync's score. Let's take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Bring this one over here for all of you guys to just for your viewing pleasure. So Sync, we do this? Oh. I've seen his scores before. All right, he's going to precision. My man knows how to follow the instructions. I love it. Very, very exciting. And we'll see how Aim Lab impacts the players and how they warm up. If everyone is warming up appropriately, well, we're going to see a pretty big score here. Sync definitely has played Aim Lab before. You can tell he's got... You can see the muscles in his hand, too. Look at that. The man's insane. He actually has some insane grid shot scores as well. Some really smooth tracking. Definitely admirable. I wish I spent a lot of time in Aim Lab myself. I think the highest I've gotten on this is 115, so... He's about to blow us away with 136K. We'll see how that looks in just a hot second here. And then afterwards, we're going to segue because I noticed people are submitting their scores into the Discord. And they're pushing it over. And there we go. It looks like we also got TSM Aberlelli putting. Everyone's putting in their scores in. And don't worry, at the very end, this is a pre-show. This is nice to finally see a face of the voice. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. We're gonna get started here again in just a hot second, and we'll talk through everything that you're seeing right now. Warm up before the tournament. We're gonna begin here in just a moment, and then hop into the server. Master 2 Sync's way higher than. Look at that. Look at that score. That is a fat score from Sync. That's top 5. Wow, that's and Taishin up there. Wow, that's pretty crazy. That's an insane score that we're looking at there. Very, very high scores across the board from the team. See if he does another go at it, just so you can see what some crazy aim that he's got here. He did a few rounds. There you go. Let's take a look at the next round, and then we'll hop into the server here in just a moment. Appreciate you guys all for hopping in. If you're tuning into the Aim Lab portion, this is for Aim Lab, and then we're going to switch over to Apex Legends in just a hot minute. We are going to pull up the servers and get underway into Game 1 and make sure everyone is loaded in. So Aim Lab is really essential. This scenario specifically, if you're watching, especially on the Aim Lab channel or my channel, this is a really great scenario to utilize. If you notice, it feels like you're tracking a horizon that's in the air with micro movements that's strafing. It really pushes your limits. It's not an easy scenario to do. It may look easy, but that micro movement can make a big difference. So pretty big there. It looks like it finished up there. Let's take a look to see if Rogue is he's still going. Look at him. He's still going for his portion. So not too bad, not too shabby overall there. Let's take a look at the back and make sure how we're doing overall. Everyone is getting their screenshots in. We see that Taishin got one. I'm going to see if I can open that one up. Taishin did get 137. Let's take a look at his stats. I know he just took a screenshot there. Let me finish up with Rogue here, and then we'll switch over to Taishin and his screenshot that he had presented in the Discord for us. I know we may not have a whole lot of time to look at the VOD because we are coming up at the exact time that we need to start up on the server and get going. Nice. Look at Rogue coming in with 107. Look at the smile on his face. Top placement. My man is excited on that. We caught that live. Looks like he is warmed up and ready to go, so that's pretty solid. And if we look at Taishin looks like he had a really top score here at 137k as well, 83% accuracy. That's a top placement, top score. If you're looking to see how your aim handles up against a pro player tracking micro movement, this is your moment to really go hop in right now at Aim Lab and test against these pros. Like Rogue is very well known. Imperial How looks like he's about to set up in the lobby. Rogue is setting up as well, and we're going to segue here in just a moment as we see all the scores hopping in. Welcome. I just want to take a moment and say hello. Hopefully all of you guys are doing well. This is going to be a wonderful evening of Apex Legends that we're going to have a lot of fun with, and we'll get started here in just a hot second. So let's get underway. We'll switch over to Game 1. I'm going to hop into the server myself and make sure that we are all set up. I just need a few seconds here while we get started. And don't worry, I'll timestamp so you can see some of it as well. Remember, everyone is live as well right now, so you definitely want to check out who is live, what's going on, how things are going. And we'll be underway in just a moment, shoutcasting the Apex Legends tournament. So give me a second. Let me hop into the server. Everyone's putting their scores in. This is actually a really tight race from what we're seeing. I'm going to hop into the lobby here, and then we're going to switch over to the screenshot for Game 1. All right, we're connecting here. We'll see if we see a lot of Valkyrie. We'll see if we see a lot of Valkyrie hopping in. Everyone is loading into the lobby. We're going to begin here in just a hot second. We're going to keep these lobbies rolling. That is going to be the overall goal that we have for today. And I'll switch over to the screen here in just a minute. So when we talk about the meta, we talk about Aim Lab, and you saw everyone really focus up and get their aim warmed up and comfortable for their recoil control. We're going to see if does this help players pop off. The people who are popping off are Rogue, Syncdes, Taishin was another one who really popped off in a score as well. And everyone is hopping into the lobby. You see some really big names here. A lot of people were playing Aim Lab warming up. We had Abrelli get a pretty high score. Let's see what the score was. And we will announce who the winners are at the very end of the tournament, because we also got to keep things rolling and keep things rocking. Let's see here. Let's take a look at one of those scores, shall we? You know, Taishin had 136k. take a look. I know Zenial had a score of 110. But I mean, now that they're all on that leaderboard, go seriously, go test out your aim and go take a look. I appreciate Randy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Welcome, by the way. Our standings going to be posted anywhere. We can definitely share the leaderboard when it's updated, and I can share it on the screen as well. Where can I see all the teams? They're not all on Liquipedia. The teams are being updated. We had a few last-minute changes, positive changes to the rosters as well as everyone gets situated. We got about 5 minutes until we're about to get started here. In just a moment, I just want to make sure I'm set up on the back end and that we're in the server here and that we are good to go. All right, I'm going to switch over to the screen for game 1 so you can see more of the, so you can see the names that are a part of the tournament. I want you guys to be able to see that. There we go. Let me fix that on screen for you. There we go. That looks great. And we're going to be playing on Storm Point. This is one of the first tournaments that you're going to see on Storm Point. And let me mute real quick. Let me take a look at our team on the back end and see how we're all doing. All right, so you see the names that are located on the screen. I just checked in with the team on the back end, and we're going to get started in just a minute. So we have quite a few that are about to hop in. The servers have been shared. We're hopefully going to start underway in about 4 minutes. I'm going to make sure everyone gets into the server, and then we're good to go. And yeah, this is going to be on Storm Point. Is Asu in the tournament? He is not. We do have Imperial Howl. We have Abrelelli. We have Baby Nikki. We have Alliance, some of their team. We have NRG participating quite a bit. We have Sweet, this is the big tournament for Sweet. His Sweet Invitational, no pun intended, as well. Now, pretty exciting stuff. There's going to be a lot of coverage for this tournament, and I hope all of you guys are going to enjoy. I'll timestamp each of the rounds for you guys on the YouTube side. If you're watching on the Twitch side, be sure to say hi in chat. Get engaged with the conversation. And then we'll get started here in just a moment. So the interesting comps that we may see, and I'm going to switch over to the in-between and just kind of say hello to everybody again. The interesting thing that we might see in... Hold on one second. Oh, what's up? What is? If it's reachable by a legend. I'd say go with your gut and let him know. Go with what. Okay, go with what Abrelelli would feel. I know people are going to Val could be. Put it in the. I trust you on. Probably have the same. I know it's going to be a little tricky because, I mean, it's a new... I'm going to talk to people. All right. So this is an interesting moment to kind of talk about in terms of the tournament as well. We can still hear you. Oh, I forgot to mute. That's okay. So this is an interesting thing, and this is why this is such an important tournament. Nothing I was saying is horrible in terms of this is, we're doing a one-man show, big important thing here, but this is a great discussion. So let's segue how important this discussion is that this tournament, this specifically, has not been done very much before, especially with this map in mind, especially where Valk is going to get into different spots. What do you guys think as a community? I mean, Valkyrie is definitely going to be used to get into various heights, various situations. Let's segue here. Let's talk about this. This is actually really huge because this is a historical moment. Sweet and AimLab have put together one of the very first tournaments that we're seeing for Apex Legends on this map, which means that we can provide so much feedback before this goes into the ALGS side and really find out what this means for Apex, how this is going to work, where the rules really sit. And Apex is still, they're doing such an amazing job in terms of their tournament structure, but it's still so new as well. When you compare to scenes like CSGO or others, what this means, we have tools like Aim Lab that push the limits for Apex Legends more than we ever have. Apex pushes the limits for AIM and more than we've ever seen. So now when we talk back again with this map, what does it mean for the comps? Are we just going to see Valkyrie everywhere? We don't know. This is going to be the first time some of these pros have really done a tournament on this map, especially with the number of talent and skill that we're going to see in this lobby. People are going to be thinking outside the box, things that we have not even thought about before. This happens at any skill level. Any game that you're seeing, this happens even at the highest skill level, racing for top 10 in games like World of Warcraft. So it's pretty interesting to kind of see what we're doing. All right, so it looks like we're at 720. We're just trying to get the last few people in. I'll check to see how we're doing on the back end in just a moment. Would be cool to see Pathfinder in a team. This map is pretty solid for Pathy. Anybody with verticality is going to be very, very impactful. And it looks like we're almost filled up. So we're pretty close. We are on point, maybe just a few minutes after. We got pretty much every team popping off. And this is really exciting. And I have the honor and pleasure to really have the opportunity to chat with you guys about this historical moment, breaking down Storm Point and how it works. It's going to be a little difficult to follow the action, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up on the map consistently, just because I know a lot of people may not actually know the map that much. So if I pull up the map a lot while we're casting and talking about these various rounds, know that I'm doing it intentionally because I want you guys to feel more comfortable with the map. We all know World's Edge, but a lot of us don't really know Storm Point as well, and some of the weird little nooks and crannies of where things can go, which is why when we're talking about the competitive level, what happens when Valkyrie gets to areas that we didn't even think were possible. I know one of them specifically is in Command Center, where you can Valk ult up top and you get stuck because of the height of that zip. It's so high that makes such a big difference. All right, so it looks like we can have a few more people hopping in, and then we can get started here in just a moment. Imperial House, Jen Burton. I see him right there. I think he changed his name, so we're all good. Also, the first not ever World's Edge tournament I've ever seen for Apex. Well, it's a very exciting moment. It's a very exciting moment. But the thing is also that you're seeing for Storm Point, which is also very interesting, is that some of the areas are really, really high up to where Valkyrie can't get over. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. All right, 2 seconds. We'll switch over to game 1 here because we're about to get started. And I'm going to mute up and I'm going to check in with our production team. All right, appreciate your patience. We're just setting up things in the back and making sure everyone can connect. We only have one more roster that's going to connect, and then we'll talk about all the scorers as well. Now, we'll see. We got, looks like Arcane just needs to connect, and then we should be good to go. But we're happening. Are you playing it? I am casting in it. And yeah, Lyric is in it, actually. He is in it. It's great to see you, Adita. Welcome, everyone. Great to have you here. Let's give a shout out to everyone on the Aim Lab side of things. Dustin. Okay, we're starting in 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk to the production team. You're going to hear me live on it. Seconds. Roger that. All right, 30 seconds, guys. We're about to start. I'm going to segue so you can see the main screen here. Let me know if you want to change in the audio. Don't worry, I'm going to turn off the music on the back end as well so you don't hear it. I'm only going to bring it up during the other portion, and then we'll be good to go. So exciting. This is going to be very interesting. First ever big tournament with the list of this cast, we're gonna see some really exciting things on such a high level. I am excited. I'm not even gonna turn on my camera for this, and we're underway. This is round 1, ladies and gentlemen, and we're good to go. Roger that, everybody. Let's get into the first round. Let's see where teams land, what they do, and how we're going underway. But be sure to type in the AimLab chat. Let's get the conversation going. This is one of the first moments that are historical, and people are saying the teams are stacked. Every one of these teams are stacked. Look at this roster that you see on screen. You have Vayne, Hodsick, and Saucer. You have Taxi, Stay Naughty, and Urish. You have Hao playing with AC, Tifa, Jesse. You have reps with, like, this is stacked. Even Janie's roster as well, I was looking at it, is stacked. Taisheen and Jin Burton? Crazy. Jin Burton renamed himself to Hal. So let's get underway. Let me turn off the music. We got a Loba. Looks like Nocturnal's playing Loba. That's a what does that say? Are we going to see Watson in play here? Are we going to see a Watson? Don't worry, turn off the music. Don't worry, you're not going to have any of that in the back end. And there we go. Look at that. Looks like they warmed up. They did some of their aim lab there for themselves. And here we go. Look at the map. There looks like they're marking the 2 spots around No Name already there. We'll take a look to where some of the action and everything is taking place. We'll turn on highlights so you can see through the walls only on our end to make sure people are located as well. Everyone is loading out. We'll switch over through various rosters and see how they're doing. Baby Nikki's roster is with Skittle Cakes as well as SSG Controller. I believe that's dropped. I know he changed his name on us.
Let's explore this way.
We have them maybe 50-50? Do we have a 50-50? If we see some action that's happening right away, we'll do our best to switch over to the action as best as possible. We may have an look at this. This is an early 50-50. Already punching out. Got the Valkyrie running away. Let's see if Baby Nikki's able to get themselves any utility to fight off. The Wraith is cracked. 30 damage in. Some solid entry damage there. And now they're going to rotate away. Playing this safe. Don't want to really 50-50 right off the rip already. We do have a few teams already battling out. Let's take a look at Imperial House team fighting in the center, fighting Prowlers as well as another roster across the way. We're going to see a lot of interesting battles. We got the Bow Check Bow. Imperial House aim is always on point. He's already warmed up from a little bit of aim lab already. And we'll see where a lot of the action is already taking place. Snipe Down looks like they've already claimed a little dominance. It may be his teammate, but he's securing that dominance with his team already. So again, I'm going to be pulling up a lot of the map consistently to making sure that you understand where the action is taking place. The beauty of this is things close out. Let's take a look at Zach's roster. Rocker's already fighting up on the north side of the map around. Let's take a look at what they're doing here. They're pretty much gating them out, making sure they can't leave, and they have the Prowlers that they're fighting over on the left side. There is a gravity cannon here located for a quick rotation as well, but they're in zone and they're going to be holding. Let's take a look at how many different legends that we have. We'd actually see Valkyrie, and we do have an Ashe, but we don't have a single Watson. So anybody who's a Watson main, I guess we can just go cry in our little corner because there's no Watson yet. But we do have a Loba. So let's take a look at the Loba roster. Let's take a look at Nocturnal, making sure to grab all that loot for his team. Not a lot of damage has gone out on the lobby so far. This is where I find interesting with Stormpoint, is that Stormpoint's loot is definitely spread out quite a bit. Which is not, look at that, a gold 30-30 repeater. It's not a bad thing that the loot is spread out, but this is where Loba can showcase more of her dominance, especially when grabbing that said loot. So when we look at the map, we do have a potential run-in here from Baby Nikki's roster rotating from underneath everyone. We'll see if they rotate in and how that's going to go. And what's interesting is that everyone is spread out. I know somebody in chat had mentioned, notice that people have gathered at the south area, but if we look at the map and take a look, we got our first encounter. Baby Nikki already taking some wingman shots. The Gibby Bubble has gone out for cover. Let's see if there are any other teams nearby. This is going to be a clean fight if they decide to fight this. The scan goes out. Let's take a look at the other angle from the team. Trying to hold the angle. The triple take definitely on point. The triple take has been nerfed. Let's see if he can snag a nice headshot. If he gets a headshot, you know they're going to go in on that, and they're trying to hold on this. People have the question, does Sweet sponsor this? This is Sweet Invitational presented by AimLab. So shout out to AimLab for putting together this event. Marianas for holding the fort down on the back end, and for Sweet being literally the absolute legend that he is, and making sure all of this also became possible. So they did back out from this encounter. Let's take a look from their POV. RKN decided to rotate in. A lot of teams are kind of holding it down. Noob King with Bronzy's roster. They're fighting spiders over here, leveling up their Evo armor and shields. So this is going to be very interesting how this plays out. I'm only pulling up the map for this. I don't know, I just feel like a lot of individuals need to understand where we're going on the map specifically. So I think we're going to shoutcast it that way, just because this is one of the first tournaments on it. And, you know, not everyone has this map memorized from what we're looking at. So we got teams rotating on the north side. This is going to end around Thunderwatch. This is an Ash roster here. We got Reps and Aberlelli and Kine playing this out. And, you know, this is what's interesting, is that the pros are finding this very interesting to participate in, because this is a good segue and good practice from what we're going to see captured from the overall, well, what it's going to look like. This is a great moment to test out comms. And we have a team running up. We have Aberlelli backing out. Let's see if he's going to throw down his tactical, but he's going to rotate away and find positioning. This building can house multiple rosters and multiple teams. The underbelly area can also help. Let's see where they're rotating in. This is a nice area to hold, but the downside is whenever it's held down below, the dangers that it poses from the teams that are located up above. Now, these teams are all going to hold their positioning and hold their angles from what we're going to see. They're not really going to push in. Everyone's definitely playing this to the next level of sweat that we are accustomed to seeing. We do have the potential that RKN may be rotating in potentially. Let's take a look at Sweet. This is his tournament, so, you know, we got to give him as much coverage as possible. He's been rotating a little quiet. That's why I haven't really zoomed in. They've been around checkpoint side, and I don't want to miss any of the action, but don't worry, they're not really full committed. Sweet's roster has been playing it safe. They are 0+ is running Ash. Sweet is going with Wraith, and look at that. You get a lot of utility, a lot of ports, and a lot of ways to get in and out. Let's take a look at Rogue's team, because they're getting into a firefight on the north side here. Let's see if Gent is able to get away from these triple take shots that we're seeing. And if you look at the full screen, not a single person has died. Wow, that's actually pretty crazy. We're seeing a massive level of respect happening in this lobby, and it's not there's not that level of disrespect that you normally see from, you know, the people are taking it seriously. This matters to people. This is not something that people are going to snuff away at.
Let's move this way.
So very, very exciting. I love the comments in chat. Their stun point is so different from anything else in Apex, which makes it very interesting. It really does, especially the size, because teams, as you can tell, are able to find their footing. So shout out again to Sweet for putting this together, putting his name behind it as well. Everyone was a part of the puzzle to make sure that this really happens. Sweet's team might actually get run up here. Let's switch over to the POV of Drac and Designful as well as Guild, and see what they're able to do. They're sneaking up right behind them. They don't even know, and they're not even aware. We do have a team fighting out. Let's take a look at Kine's POV. Triple take shot popping off. Let's see if Reps is able to clutch this out. Does get the crack, 59 damage, then does rotate with the tap strafe, and cleans it up with literally 5 HP. My God, we came in just in time. That was really close. That was with Daltouche and Zach, and they really held it together, but my gosh, that tap strafe that Reps pulled off there flying around the corner was pretty monumental. That was a really nice moment that we captured there, and they're really piecing it together. Honestly, that we're talking literally 1 HP, 1 shot for making a full difference there. That was a pretty good moment from what we saw. Let's take a look again. Let's see if Janie, with her roster, the team is located from down below. The teams are all rotating in the open. Let's see if Nocturnal, they're about to run into a nightmare of a situation. There is a team located on the right, and there's a team located on the left. So there's a potential that they're going to get shot, and we'll take a look here. Let's take a look at the last bit of damage. We do have our big kill leader that is located there. A lot of shots are taking place, but nobody is really full committing into a scenario yet. Once we do see a scenario that is taking place, and we'll be sure to switch over. My gosh, Reps really clutched out. That was the first big fight that we managed to capture game of the day. This is always going to be a little tricky to commentate for the first time. That, you know, everyone is getting the feelers out there. You know, you can kind of get an ebb and flow of a map, but at the same time, it's always going to be a little different because, and let's take a look at Drum Bum as well as Duplex. We're going to try to give everyone as much coverage as humanly possible here. We're going to switch over from various POVs and just see how everyone is doing overall. They're caught out in the open. They do have a gravity cannon, but if they use it, it's not going to bode well for them whatsoever. And they got the scans out. Those Prowlers are going to put up a fight, but it looks like they're all eliminated. They do have a few crafting metals, and they're just trying to find a rotation in. They're actually pretty much in the clear. Rogue's team is holding it down on the north side, and you know, Rogue may not have an R301, but he has a car. He replaced the R301 of the EVA 8 with a car SMG and a PK. Oh, we do have a fight breaking out here. They're holding it down. They're holding the building. There's a scan out, and the Arc Star is there. AC is rotating in. She does have all the information. They're trying to see if they can get height on the window. They're trying to feel out the map. They have the bubble push out. Tifa Jesse pushing in. Hal going in for the massive kill. Gets 11. The infamous 11 coming from the Mastiff. He cracks for 77, and there is a cleanup. And Promo's team is now out. So they secure their spot. Taishin's roster is rolling up. This is Janie showing up to the party. Janie is the team captain of the roster, with Taishin showing up, as well as Jen Burton. Jen Burton has some phenomenal aim that we've seen. And they're trying to go for the peak here. Janie's going for the bat. Scans have gone out, and they're rotating left and right. The Arc Star is behind. Make sure don't get hit by that. Good clear, and the scan is out for the rotation. Is this massive shot going to pop off? Gets a little bit of damage in. Rotate over to Taishin, who's popping off of the R301. The bubble has gone out for cover. There is a cleanup. We do have now a 3v1 situation. It looks like Janie's team was able to really clutch this out, and the Wraith is running away for dear life at this point, just going for a little bit of placement there. Question is, are they able to get away? And Jen Burton's taking some shots of the Volt. Amazing recoil control that he always has with the Volt. I've seen it time and time again. And there we go. Pretty solid. The most amount of damage that has been done in the lobby is actually still from reps from his amazing clutch out. And what they're doing here is they're stockpiling. They're stockpiling every bit of loot that they're looking to hold. And they're dropping all of those shields there for swaps. So let's take a look here as well at the Loba roster. See how they're doing. Speaking of swaps, we'll see where they're located on the map. So again, I'm going to pull up the map a lot so you guys understand where people are at. Myself, I've been playing this map a lot, but you know, it takes a little bit to memorize everything, you know? It does take a little bit to memorize where everything is at. You know, it's interesting, we do not see a whole lot of... Let's take a look here. Here's a good gunfight coming out. We do have... Oh my gosh, that's a lot of nades coming from Fuse there. They do have one down, but is he able to clutch it out with some of that recoil control? He does get one down. Let's see if Nice is able to clutch it out. He's got a 1v2 situation here. He Q's back, and if he's able to recover this, potentially he does have his ultimate to get a little bit further away, but it's definitely going to be rough. Let's see if he manages to get this. You see another team is... Oh, look, there's another third party showing up on that. That's not looking good for them. And there it is. He's going to be able to clutch out some of the damage. And there is the mop-up. But we do have the other team that is rotating on him. Not enough, unfortunately. And Sweet's team just came in and mopped up. And now they're getting thirded. Sweet going for the arc play, trying to recover and recoup. Fun FPS covering here, but gets the thermite on his rampage. 78 with the PK knocking. And Sweet is making a massive cleanup, rotating back in there, as you saw from the left. Look at that rampage barreling right through. That was a lot of damage. It's one of the few times that I've really seen the rampage just making a break. You know, I've slept on the rampage time and time again, but that thermite in the rampage is just absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting from what we're seeing there. But luckily, they're holding their own. They're holding their spot. They do have another team that is located on the outside of this, so this is going to get a little bit intense. We have 16 squads left remaining. And we'll take a look. So it looks like... We'll take a look at any other fights. We do have a team that is outside of the zone, trying to hold on for your dear life. Let's see if they happen to have the utility they need to get out. This is zone 3, so this is going to hurt. I don't know if Enoch... It's going to be really close. I don't know if this is going to pop. Don't think that's going to... Oh my gosh, with a slither. If he hesitated another extra second, there's no way he would have gotten that heal off. They got 2 minutes to rotate into zone, and we do have a fight breaking out from Vane's team. This is 100 Thieves, a bit of 100 Thieves located here with Hot Stick and Saucer, holding their positioning down. They're bubble dancing, and there's the potential cleanup about to happen. Vane has to clutch this out. Nice target switching, but unfortunately it's not enough, and Nox team does have to recover here as quickly as possible. The Arc Star to buy themselves a little bit of time, but they're getting rotated on in the back. Cody taking height, getting the cracks, going for the port, and see if he can reposition and wrap this out. They do have some kills to their name, pretty solid, not too bad in terms of overall, I guess you could say, positioning. So he's rotating out, but there's non-stop fights that are breaking out here. Sync's team is taking some peeks with Snipe down from the north side of the map. They're about to run into each other. Baby Nicky's roster triple take. Not looking half bad with Skittles. Here's the bat, and here's the recovery. We'll hold on dropped here. There's a bit of the damage from the Valkyrie. We're seeing a lot of Valkyries, but we're not seeing the ultimate making the biggest rotations quite yet on this map. Everyone is looking pretty healthy. And there is the tactical. See how much damage it does, and it really slows them up to catch them out of position. They are barreling in, and look at the fight that we're seeing. The flat line absolutely shooting for about 125 damage from what I was able to see. He's able to clutch it up. This is a pretty close 1v1, and he manages to clutch it up, but they need to be fast because Cody is showing up for a potential 1v1. He does not know that it's only one person, though. If he's able to identify if this is one person, he might be able to stay for this fight. He might be able to stay for it. And he's rotating away. If only he knew. If only he knew that it was only one individual. But it looks like Naughty's team is rotating as well. I'm pulling up the map so you can see the rotation. And you can see them located through the walls. Cody's trying to assess the situation. This zone is going to hurt a lot. So they need to rotate. Let's take a look at AC's team with Imperial Hal making a potential play. Hal's got the Thermite out, trying to go for some little bit of burning. How to get burned? Question mark. How to get burned? Oh, SSG's controller's not dropped. My apologies.
Listen, let's move here.
Some people have renamed themselves in the lobby. Just like Jen Burton. Jen Burton is actually Imperial Hal in the lobby, but there is a difference between the two. So good call out from chat. I appreciate that. Some people have changed their names, and they're trying to bamboozle the poor little caster casting on a brand new map. And let's see the rotation. Is this able to save a team? Flying right in. So Hal has gotten the low ground and AC's falling right behind. Hal's in a 1v1 scenario, but AC's coming up with a nice clutch on the flank here. Gets a bit of damage in. Let's see if AC's able to clutch this out. She's almost got it, and they go for the recovery. Very nice on their part. We'll hold here and take a look at this action. So Sweet's roster is still up, but we're going to hold on this action that we're seeing here. There's one person over there, and they're able to recover this. They got to get the Gibraltar up for those bubbles, and people are flying in from all angles. Abrelelli just got a Kraber shot from downtown. Let's take a look at... Oh no, we'll hold here. Let's see if Imperial Hal can clutch this up. The other team from right across from them, they're praying to God they don't turn around and take a look. It's looking a little intense there. And they're recovered. So let's take a look at the other team. Let's take a look at who's got the north side. We got 4 SWAT and the open field. They're probably about to get knocked here unless they have the bubble. Let's see if they have the bubble up. They have a port. They do not have the bubble. The bubble has been utilized, and I guarantee a port any second is going to be used. They're going to have to use it at some point. The cue is to buy themselves a little bit of time, and they are getting absolutely naded. And here's one of the rats that you saw come through. Serial trying to buy himself some time. 4 SWAT's roster is really holding on for dear life. It's fresh. Okay, gotcha. It's good to know. Thank you so much for the information, chat. I appreciate all of you guys. Look at them, how they try to bamboozle us. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to leave a like on the YouTube side. If you're on the aim lab portion, you know, give it a little type in chat. Let us know that you're here and that you're enjoying what you see. Let's switch over to Sweet's roster. That is definitely popping off. They have the top side, and look, the Kraber is on Sweet's hand. Let's take a look at what Sweet can do with this Kraber. Sweet has never disappointed. 145 on the Wraith with gold armor. Got 6 bullets left to his name. He's going to make every single one of these bullets count. He's got gold armor. He's able to reset, able to do something really quickly here, and they are dominant on this building. Trust me, Sweet, time and time again, and this is the pros always get very upset about the Kraber that is in play. He's going to go for the rescue on his team or potentially go for a kidnap. Port is going around trying to get over on 0+. The man with a nice ASMR voice, as I was seeing in his chat earlier. They do have the dominant spot, but they need to rotate. The zone is going to close. Let's see if they're able to get a Kraber shot on the north side. The man Sweet put his name on this tournament. 319. Nice headshot. Goes for the cleanup. Has 4 shots left to his name. And takes kill leader with 4 total kills. Misses a shot, but that was only just because he's flexing. That's all that is. He's just flexing his aim. Just putting a little pressure. And we see the team down below. He does have his Q. He needs to pop his Q to possibly save this. And he knows better, and he knows to hold it. And there's the Q to rotate in. Let's switch over to Fun FPS. He's going to be able to cover. He has already thrown his bubble down. Trying to cover this zone is going to chonk, and it does, unfortunately. And Sweet is able to hold on for dear life here. He should be able to clean up the Gibraltar. He's going to go for the armor swap, and he does get it off. 300. Let's see if he gets a Kraber shot here. Does miss, but he's able to go for the Volt Spray, and he has very limited movement here. and does get eliminated by Force What's Team Sweet. Was the kill leader. Let's take a look at who has the most damage in the lobby, which is G2 Gentifying. Gentifying is an absolute beast on the controller with the controller boys squad. You know what? Screw it. Let's say controller man squad. These people are men. They are not boys. So nice cleanup on their part. They have some optimal positioning. If there was any money that we were going to put on this, let's hold in this team because this is a team that has the optimal spot. There's 2 teams located down below on the south side, and this could look like it goes to Rogue's roster with dropped. This is the real man. This is the real drop. This is a really interesting map for competitive Apex Legends, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot of stuff that I didn't really realize. There's a lot more cover to this map than I even anticipated. To be honest, there is just a lot of cover and positioning for each of them. So as silence falls in the lobby, it's not because it's not intense, it's because there is the pressure of knowing if they're going to be able to clutch this out. 2 teams on the south side. The person who has the positioning is going to be Rogue's team here. Nobody's going to want to run up on Gentifying. Honestly, nobody's going to want to do it. I wouldn't do it. The man is a monster on the controller. Zone is closing, and this is where we're looking here. So while this is an open space, there is positioning that we are seeing. They're going to get a little squished on this as well. And there they go. They're rotating on the south side of the map. The car SMG can be really hard to control. That recoil, the horizontal left and right. Trust me, it's not easy to control from a distance like that. The gravity cannon does have the positioning if they're able to get out in the open. Let's see what they're going to use their utility if they're going to hold it. There's 69, nice number. Hee hee ha ha lol. And we'll see if they're able to. It looks like there's the push. They're pushing on him. They don't even care. They're just going for the fight, and they're just handing this to Rogue's team at this point. Let's see if Gentifying's just going to roll. He's going to roll up right on this. This first round is looking pretty strong to go over to Rogue's team as long as they don't overextend too much. They're opting to go back to reposition here, and there's a port so they can get right back into that spot if needed. But it wasn't as clean of a third that they were looking for. How many teams are all located on each side? You got one on the far left, and you got most of the roster on the far right. They do have the gravity cannon for positioning. It's interesting. You didn't think that the gravity cannon would be utilized for as much cover as it's being used here. And there's a cleanup there on Force What. Team captain out, but don't worry, he's got his fellow teammates that are also still alive. Really, really solid. Got the zone closing in about 5 seconds here. Letting you guys hold on to the action from what we're seeing. Switch over to Rogue's POV. Actually, he's over there healing, so we're going to hold on to Gentifying here and seeing how all of this plays out. Zone is closing. This is where the pressure matters. We got very limited team members. We got a full squad, and it looks like we got a rat. The rat could still make a major play. In case you don't know what a rat means they're all alone in the world by themselves. Gentifying popping off of the wingman here. They have to avoid his nasty headshot. The Ash Q did go out, and there is a Q to reposition, and there is a push forward. As long as they hold, let's see if he's able to disrupt them in any way, shape, or form. He's going to be taking a lot of zone damage, unfortunately, and then there is the cleanup. Now we got to... They're going to go in for the kill here, potentially. Massive shots do pop off. They keep it together, they keep their cool, and the first round goes to Rogue, and he is now the new kill leader. So game 1, ladies and gentlemen, very, very solid pacing from what we're seeing. A lot of action that actually took place. I'm actually pretty surprised, based on the map size, just how much action was able to take place with everything there. People are saying... Enoch Grief's nice team. The portal kidnap, something you always got to avoid, something that's always scary to deal with. So overall, pretty solid. Pretty solid first round. Myself, I'm getting comfortable with the new map and trying to figure out the ebb and flow. Everyone was very respectful based on their overall positioning. All right, so let me take a look on the back end and see how the production crew is doing, because we're going to be hopping into another server in just a second here. Or did you get? I didn't. Awesome. I'll hop into that. All right, we're booting up to the second server here, ladies and gentlemen. Just give me 2 seconds. So I want everyone's thoughts in chat. How did you feel about seeing one of the first tournaments here on Store Point? And we're getting started in the next lobby in just 2 seconds. Let me get myself my little code, and then we'll be underway. So, you know, I thought Valkyrie would be even bigger and more important for the rotations, but we saw even Gibby, Wraith, and Ashe really the most dominant of their group. We'll look at the scoreboard once it's updated here as well in just a hot second. All right, we're in for the next round here. Everyone should hop in. We'll be sure to get these servers up and going pretty quick. So we'll catch up with chat as well. I liked it, my favorite map, even though I'm not fond of the PvE stuff. Interesting that the PvE stuff wasn't as overwhelming as we would think. Not as overwhelming as we would think, especially on the server. Everyone is piling into the server right now. I'll switch over to that POV so you guys can see the names of who's participating. Right now, every name is being added. What you're seeing for the name at the top is actually the team captains. Those are the team captains. Also, we should give a huge shout out for Aim Lab. During the pre-show event, everyone was warming up. Aim Lab, this is a tournament that is presented by Aim Lab. Sweet is a big name behind it. So also shout out to Marianas and the crew and everyone who's putting everything together for this tournament. Everything is going pretty smoothly so far. We're seeing a whole lot go underway, and in just a moment we'll be starting in the next round. And we'll take a look. And definitely that end zone that we saw there, especially at the very end, was very unfortunate. That's why I called that the north side had the biggest opportunity for them, especially the team on the far right decided just to kind of full send and push. But the team on the north side definitely had the biggest advantage. They had more or less the height. They had the gravity cannon to utilize, and it definitely worked in their favor. So that's definitely a huge plus that they had overall. Switch over to game 2. We're about to go to game 2. This is a 5-round tournament. So going into game 2, we'll go into game 3, 4, and then 5. I love that everyone is definitely talking about the upset about 1, the Kraber, and then 2, kidnapping. The Kraber definitely had a lot of dominance there. And we called it before you even said it, you know? Boska, thank you so much for cleaning up the chat. I appreciate that, by the way. I know the unfortunate bots you see on the YouTube side, and also if you're watching on the Twitch side and Aim Lab, it's great to have you here. Be sure to engage with the chat and come hang out. I'm going to check with the production crew in the back end and see how we're doing. Almost everyone is in the lobby, and we'll get started relatively quick. And I'll pull up the scoreboard for you guys after this round, and we'll kind of see where things are situated and going. Again, if any of you guys have questions, especially from Aim Lab, I know from people from Aim Lab may not know all about Apex Legends. If you guys have any questions from what you're seeing, and I will definitely show the scores. Don't worry, they're being updated as we speak. So if mid-round, if things are a little slow, then I'll be sure to show the scores overall. But you know that the team that is in first place right now is Rogue's roster. So Rogue is definitely, his roster showcases the highest right now. Don't worry, I'll show the scores in just a minute once we have them all updated. They're being updated as we speak. And then we'll take a look overall. But do not worry. Here, I'm going to switch to it while it's being updated right now. What you're seeing here, the scores are already being populated. They're not all there, but you know Rogue's team was in first place with 4 SWAT and Sweet 13-13. We got a lot of 13. There's Sweet 13s that are located there. So pretty solid across the board right now from what you're seeing. This is, I might be able to put it in the chat for you guys, but the scores are being updated for the rest of the roster. So the top 3 that we're looking at right now are Rogue, 4 SWAT, and Sweet. Switch over to game 2. Everyone is in. I think we're waiting for SSG controller to go over, and then we'll get started. On Discord. We're starting the next round, ladies and gentlemen. Quick and fast. That's the way you love these lobbies, peeps. We're going fast in these tournaments. We are making sure to go fast. Fast, fast, fast. Amari hears me. Shout out to the crew behind the scenes for getting everyone in the lobby and getting everything situated. Shout out to Aim Lab for presenting this tournament. We're going on to game 2. All right, who's the host? It's Sword Daz. I'm your host for today. I'm just going to switch over the camera, wave to everybody, and say hello. Let's see if any teams should decide to change up their composition at all. I'm just saying hello. Welcome to the channel. It's great to have you here. Hopefully you're excited about watching the tournament, and we'll get going. Standings. Let's take a look real quick. Right now you have the team that is in first place. It is Rogue's roster. There we go. Rogue's team is currently in first, as well as Force SWAT in second, and Sweet's team in third.
Introducing your
All right,
champion.
perfect. Let's go into game 2. Game 2, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to pause that music for you guys, and then we'll go underway. All right, let's take a look.
That is an ideal landing.
We'll post it on both chats as well after this round, but we did cover the standings there for you guys, so you guys can take a quick peek. So let's take a look at Sweet, where they're landing.
Let's make a choice. Land here.
Do we have a disconnect that just happened there? Or is that just it looks like it's just a bug. We're fine. Okay.
Make a choice.
Looks like everyone is good. Everyone's connected. And if you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your time here on the channel, the Aim Lab channel, as well as my own YouTube channel here. It's been a hot minute since I've gotten back in the chair of casting, so it's nice to be back and knowing that I didn't get too rusty. The only thing, and I guarantee you as the viewer are probably trying to figure out, is just the map. More or less the map and every little Sweet spot that you're going to find, no pun intended, with Sweet as we're covering where he's landing. They're not getting contested at all here on checkpoint. They have this all to themselves. So very, very nice. Let's take a look at Rogue's roster. The teams that we're going to keep an eye on are Rogue, Sweet, and Force SWAT, since they were the teams that were doing really, really well before.
Car SMG here.
There we go. So we'll keep a close eye on these two rosters just for the meantime. Or the lack of trails and observer thing, just notice that on Sweet. Most people don't run the red trails.
My attention is
Mostly because whenever you play PvE, sometimes people just hot drop and just want to punch you. The beauty of having a red trail, ladies and gentlemen. So what you're watching now is game 2. The teams that are currently in the lead are Force SWAT, Sweet, and Rogue. Which is interesting because these are the 2 individuals who had some really high scores for Aim Lab as well. It's who we were watching in the very start and who we're seeing having a lot of coverage as well. We do have an early fight breaking out. Kind of surprised on that. Let's take a look over here. What's happening here with Taxi and Euresa's team getting some coverage over here. It was a knock, but was it going to be a finish? Doing some little peeking with the Rampage. The Rampage is actually holding up pretty strong. Let's take a look. They're recovering here. Looks like they're fine. It looks like we didn't miss too much. This is a Loba roster that we're talking about. Everyone is still up in the lobby, so it looks like they must have got shot from a distance, and they're going to go for the recovery here. Oh, he gets knocked, unfortunately. They're just getting picked on from a distance. It's not really... Looks like they're finally pushing on them now. This is around the Cascade Falls. Lyric's roster is pushing up on them pretty aggressively here. Not giving them much to breathe. He's got a little bit of a little jiggle there. Let's switch over to Lyric's POV, and they're finishing. Unfortunate for such an early moment. Hawkus is going for a little bit of the grief on poor Nocturnal, showcasing a bit of that dominance. Let's take a look at the map and see if any actions. We do have a lot of teams rotating on the north side of the map. The south side of the map seems to be pretty open right now outside of Taxi's rosters, taking a couple of shots. So currently the most amount of damage was done from Mandate because that longbow looks like they really did some work overall. They didn't really push up on them. Looks like they got some early shots. It's always difficult whenever a team takes some shots from a distance, especially when somebody's got a nice zoom on it and you never know what shots they're going to land. But right now, this is the most amount of damage that we're seeing in the lobby. I know chat's already commentating. What was that low bolt? He's definitely going for the cover, probably going for a armor swap, and it just didn't work out in his favor, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the map. Let's see if there's a potential team from Xennial about to run into a roster here. See who is it? Looks like that's Rocker's team. Looks like we got Daltouche and Zach. Daltouche is getting absolutely fried, but he's going for the reset, and Zach, his boy, the man, the legend himself, has got the angles. Look at that. There's the cover that he needs. Daltouche can always count on Zach. Zach's got the position up, but there is ult. He's going for the bat. Rocker comes up with a nice cover, and they're able to reset. and get rid of the fact that an ult was thrown out on them. There's a scan. They got to wait, and there's a scan to counteract back. Oh, that arc star, if he wasn't, he almost got the stick there potentially, and they're going for the flank here. I don't know if he knows that he can go from under the stairs. I'm still learning the map myself. We do have a fight also with 0+ as well as Drum Bum. We'll switch over to that in just a minute. We'll hold on this fight and see if they're able to do anything with this, and then we'll switch over. Sometimes, you know, what happens at Battle Royale, multiple fights all break out at once. They're trying to go for this. They want these points. This is an isolated fight, and they're not stopping on it. They're making sure that they push on this and they try to get something going. Let's take a look at Daltouche. Daltouche did go down from pushing in. Zach comes in with a nice fry of 130 with the PK. Trying to bubble dance just a little bit here. Trying to get the damage. Does whiff, unfortunately. That a shot 97. Nick gets one knock. Can Zach clutch it out? We do have Rocker left remaining. He's got an Eve 8 on his hands. And going for a reset with the bat. Does get the additional knock. And Rocker is really struggling. They do have a third party that looks like they showed up here. Is this third party? Let's take a look here. What is happening here? We do have a cleanup coming from Rogue, who was our first place team from before. And yeah, it was a third party that just showed up just in time. And it looks like Rocker's going to have to get away. Unfortunately, Rocker's team is not looking too hot at the moment. Not looking too hot. Let's take a look at Sweet's team, our other top team that's located here. They do know that Rocker ran away, but the question is, are they going to push on this? But it looks like for now they're going to opt to go for as much loot as humanly possible. Zone 1 is closing, and we're rotating in.
R301 here.
Let's take a look if there's any other action taking place. We do have Hawkus with Lyric and Mande rotating, but they're unaware of a team that's about to rotate on them on the south side. Sweet's roster actually has a pretty good spot whenever they spawned in, but it looks like they're still rotating, looking for some early fights. Right now, all the teams in the center are probably not going to fight. Most of the teams are going to happen to fight on the outskirts here. Let's take a look at Drac, his roster with Designful. They do see the team, which is actually Sync's team with Snipe down. The question is, do they engage on this? This is the downside of having so much wildlife, is that it definitely is like a big firework in the sky that screams, I'm here. Rocker just looks like he got eliminated. They did find him. They found him in the poor little building over here. He tried to get away from the gravity cannon, and it just didn't work out. We do have our new kill leader, which has actually dropped to 3 kills, 263 damage. That third party is pretty solid. Rocker tried to get away, but, you know, it is what it is with that gravity cannon. Just was not fast enough to get him away. We take a look. We do have a fight breaking out with Force What here, which is our third place contenders at the moment. Trying to snag those wingman shots. Unfortunately, not connecting anything. Does take quite a bit of damage there. Let's see if Force What is able to get an angle here. They do have a charge rifle, and Bubble does go up for positioning in the angle. He's got to watch out for his flank there on the right. They are sandwiching this poor little Wraith, making them a Jill sandwich. And Knock trying to fry with that. Does have the gold armor and goes for the swap. It's Force What 1v2. It does get a little bit of damage with the Massive, but unfortunately it's not enough. And it looks like Taxi's 2G's team does get a nice cleanup here. They do have all the time in the world there. We do have Drac's team going for the... Where is he going? Oh, it looks like unfortunately they did get caught out. And that caught out, they just... My man, Reptar, says I've never seen those two people my whole entire life. He's out, he's gone. But hopefully they can reconvene and reposition together here on the north side of the map. But unfortunately... Snipe down with Sync's team. It's going to be a little rough here. It's going to be a little rough, I'm not going to lie. He's definitely got a little bit of a struggle with here with a potential sandwich that's going to occur. When we pull up the map, I want you guys to understand what you're seeing in the map. These teams are not really going to fight, mostly because they're already in the center of the zone. We do have a few teams possibly, especially with Promo's team that's going to locate here on the south side. We'll see how it goes. We'll see who's going to get in the next fight. Let's take a look at your kill leader. Kill leader is still dropped with 263 damage and 3 kills.
Let's go this way.
If there's any other damage that does take place, we'll keep a close eye on our kill leader as well as Sweet's roster.
Follow me.
We do have Aberleli's team. Let's take a look at Hawkus, how he's doing. They're just rotating. I think they're getting shot. Yeah, they got caught out of rotation here, unfortunately. There was a little bit of a sneak attack there, which is on the rotation here. They just caught him out. It was really, really quick. They caught him out while they were just running in, unfortunately. That Rampage is really showcasing some dominance on this map, and the R301 with 3 actually got that mid-range. And there they go. They're going to run for this. There might be another fight that's going to break out. The zone is going to close in the minute, and everyone is trying to find their positioning in the center of the zone. They're hunting for blood. Reps is just, he's full sending it. At this point, they want it. And there's the Ash port, using the Ash with a nice G7 Scout. The G7 Scout was buffed, even more so than it was in the care package from before. It does additional 2 to the head and 2 to the body additional. They're trying to chase, but, you know, if they keep chasing like this, they're going to end up... It looks like they split. Lyric decided to go to the far right, but if they keep going at this rate, they're going to run into Euresis' team. They are definitely hungry for this kill. Reps has a nice angle. The Gibraltar's only got wide arm. There's no way. They're going for that, and there's the knock. Good spray on Reps' part, not letting him breathe. Abrelli was already throwing his tactical, making sure that... Can they pin him down? Can they make sure that they don't get it? I'll take a look at the next team that is rotating here. No other teams are fighting. Everyone's kind of holding their own. We do have a potential fight breaking out here. Let's take a look at this. Showed up just in time. Drac, unfortunately, did get knocked. Let's see if he can get a nice spray here with the R3-1. The Arcstar is out, forcing the reposition. We'll switch over to Design to see if he's able to connect these wingman shots. Unfortunately, it's all up to Gilded. Nice spray, and he does clutch it out just in time for his team.
Got this.
So there we go. Nice clutch up there. Let's take a look who the kill leader is. It is still Rogue's roster. Let's take a look at Sweet. Our man Sweet was 0+. They're holding a nice angle here. Everything looks pretty solid. Not too bad. Teams are rotating on the southeast side of the map. We do have them fighting a little bit of wildlife here. Probably the most damage that you're going to see here is just mostly the wildlife. We do have Janie's team trying to gatekeep here right over by the open area. Abrelli's roster. Let's take a look how they're going to push in and where they're going to find their angle of rotation. Look at that dance. My man's dancing. He's been to the club. He knows how to dance. We see in the kill feed, Reptar just knocked Taishin. But I'm going to keep an eye on this team because they're about to run up on Taxi's roster. Abrelli, I don't think they know yet, and they do. They got 49 seconds to figure this out. While they have Janie's roster on the north side, pretty much gating them, giving them a hard time. There is the Horizon ult that went out. Using every bit of utility that they're using now is going to be even harder for them on the rotation. Zone 2 isn't the worst in the world, and that Ash ult does get them out. Very nice, clean rotation. But the question is Taxi's team going to run up on Reps and Abrelli on this? Or are they going to let them breathe and have a little bit of space? They are getting absolutely destroyed now by that triple take. He does get this. Phoenix get off with 1 HP, coming in clutch there. While Taxi's team runs up right on the G7 Scout. Is it going to be enough? Popping off with a bit of hip fire there, trying to get the car damage and does get a knock. Let's switch over to Kine. It's all up to Kine to clutch this out. Every bit of time he's wasting here, unfortunately, means that they're getting armor swaps and they're rotating. Are they going to be able to secure these kills, or are they not going to be able to secure them? Janie and Complexity's roster is showing up here for the party. They said they're getting a little bit of FOMO there. The fear of missing out. Abrelli, unfortunately, does die to zone. But we do have Taxi's team trying to hold it down and trying to survive. Stay naughty. There's the port out, trying to be the last remaining rat so he can res. But is he going to have enough? They're going for some free kills here. Reptar's running low on HP and gets grief from a distance. Nocturnal has a bit of HP, doesn't realize if they got the res or not. And you do have Janie's team just holding on here. We got a really strange battle happening on the outside of the zone. This has been pretty non-stop, going back and forth. Looks like Kine is just going to opt to just wait, but then that means that Nocturnal's team is going to get hard gated because it looks like Reptar was eliminated by Taishin. Taishin is popping off. My man, what are you doing? What do you got in your hands here? Let's just hold on Taishin because he's the one popping off with the longbow. Waiting for the rotation. Can he connect the longbow shot? Looks like he probably only needs 1 shot to secure this kill. 1 shot. Oh, and maybe not. Okay, he's got the crack. That Port Loba's all alone in the world down there. There's the tactical going out from the Valkyrie. Does connect. It looks like it connected mostly in the ultimate, though. And Nocturnal does die to zone. There is another team located here. You got Euresis and Stay Naughty, and Kine is running away, trying to rotate to a different angle. This zone is hurting, though. Zone 3 is the one that really starts to hurt. I don't think he's got time for this Phoenix kit. He's going to cut it close. He'll be fine. It looks like he's fine. The Kine timed it out perfectly, and he's good. Zone 3 can really truck. Can really truck. And notice how the north side of the map, nobody's really fought. We do have a potential team picking on each other, which is Rogue's team. We'll take a look over on Sweet's team. Oh, actually, we'll hold here. They're going for this. Good timing. That means on the soft side of the map, we're going to see a bit of action there. We might miss it, but Rogue's team, they were first before, and they're still currently first with the most amount of points. Let's see if they manage to hold this together. What's going to happen? Rogue holding it together, and look, like I said, they found Kine on the south side of the map. We knew that was going to happen. But this is where the push that matters. The zone is closing. Are they going to rotate on the north side? Let's take a look. They do have the option, but my gosh, is that going to be a nightmare? You got Omnu, Imperial Howl, Lyric chilling all up there. Do you push through Rogue's team, or do you opt to run through 3 different teams? Oh, and they actually Valk ulted away. There they go. They're flying away, but they're getting absolutely shredded. Where are they going to land? Is there space? Is there space here? When they land here, they're going to get flanked. We'll hold here and see if they're able to clutch this out. Are they able to clutch out this big moment? That's really the question that we all have here. To be honest, I don't know. Well, they do have the rocks here for cover, so some pretty solid angles. But now they're going to be able to look at this is going to be a non-stop. Let's hold on Sweet's team. We're going to hold on Sweet's team. We got 0+. Let's see some of that Ash gameplay. It does tether one down. Solid shots on the flatline, getting shot in different various angles. Let's see if Sweet decides to back up from this. Let's hold it. Let's take a look at his POV. He's got a Volt and a PK holding an aggressive angle. And there is a team on the back, and there's a Q to rotate back to his team. Let's see if 0+ is able to hold an angle for them. This next zone is going to be absolutely brutal. It's not going to be good for the team. And we'll hold it together. TSM is unfortunately getting knocked, but I want to hold to see how he's going to handle this. There's so many fights that are breaking out right now, unfortunately. And they're rotating. So let's take a look on Sync's team with Snipe down and see how they're handling this situation. Everyone is gating. There's non-stop. Let's take a look at Rogue as they're rotating in. This looks like this is the next fight that's actually going to break out. We'll hold here. Rogue is our first place team, so let's hold on this team. We're going to hold on Rogue and see how they manage to clutch out because they got 3 different teams to rotate into. Rogue has his comfortable R301. We saw him pretty much feel comfortable with using Sphere Track precision, and he's showcasing his dominance with his aim. Can he get the shot off? Unfortunately, switch over to POV from drop. Does get down. We got Gentrifying up, but everyone's getting picked on from various angles and positioning, and he does use the port to get back. They only have 46 seconds to recover this, though. And there's a solid crack from Gentrifying, getting shot from 2 different angles. If he can kill this Valkyrie, he'll buy himself some time. If he can get him, though, that tree is actually providing a lot more cover than he thought. And the other team is pushing up right behind them. This is a nightmare of a situation. This is our first place team from before, potentially going to go out for the top 10. This Valkyrie has no angles. Gentrifying just trying to clutch it out and get these kills. They're deciding to push back. Let's see if Gentrifying can recover this. There's a million other fights that are breaking out. There's a recovery of the banner. They have a million different things to push through. He's really low on HP. The 2 of them aren't pushing up. And Baby Nikki's team has rotated out. And she said she was going to rock a charge rifle. And my gosh, she did. She's getting picked on from the team, though. Taishin, this man with the longbow. Dude, how is he alive? How did he survive in between all of these rosters and still manage to clutch out? Is he actually going to be able to gatekeep? Let's see what he can do with the longbow here. Let's see if he manages to clutch this out. We'll hold here on this action. If he actually clutches this out, this would be insane to see. He's already got a lot of damage on that Bloodhound. He has to watch out. He might get thirded in the back here. He's going to sell up. The other team's rotating in. They're trying to find their positioning and trying to hold. Taishin, calling the tree man. I don't know. I don't know any more interesting name than that to give. There's the additional crack. Taishin is literally 1v3ing a roster right now. Literally holding off a full team with his longbow. He also had a really high score on Sphere Track Precision with 137k. Taishin has no business staying alive. What is this? He has zone too. What is going on with this man? He's providing us so much action right now. I almost don't even want to switch away. There's a million other things that are happening right now, but at the same time, he is the center of the zone, and he is holding it together right now. I don't know if he's. Let's take a look here. We'll take a look at Snipe down. I'm gonna switch back because this team right here, whoever wins this fight is gonna be the one that runs into Taishin. Hold on, what is Noble doing? Okay, he's just looting. All right, the team with Sync. This is the next fight that we're gonna keep our eyes on. And then we'll make sure that Taishin didn't die. Because this team, I think this is going to go to Sync's team. They're smacking with the EVA 8, making sure they know what's up in this lobby. The Valkyrie tries to get away, unfortunately does not, and Taishin is in the center. We now have our top 4 team looking pretty solid here. Thermite does go off, and Taishin... Oh my gosh, I was about to say, and Baby Nikki goes for the solid charge rifle spray. Taishin tried to survive as long as possible. That man was absolutely insane. This has to go over to Baby Nikki. If you look at the screen, they have the most dominance. So we're going to hold on Baby Nikki's roster right now and see how they're doing. And then once all the scores are updated, we'll take a look at everything there. That was crazy to kind of see how long he was able to hold his positioning. There's like almost no space there. So what you're going to see in this rotation, there's the rock on the left, and there's just open water on the right. Bronzy's team, when playing with Noob King, has very limited space. I don't know how they're going to survive that. All right, let's see what Noob King is going to do. They're going to be the team that's going to be the center here, unfortunately. Baby Nikki's team has this dub. They literally have this dub. This has to be their game unless they hard throw it based on positioning. They're creating space out of nowhere. Let's see if does Noob King actually have his bubble up, and he does. So they've held the bubble, and they're putting a lot of pressure. Noob King coming in clutch with Bronzy and Rack. Trying to hold it together. They have their bubble still. I'm trying to see when Noob King is going to pop his bubble. And there they are in height. He's going to pop his bubble, and there it goes, and now they have their positioning. And they're pushing aggressively up top. That's the aggressive push that we're looking for. Let's take a look. And they decide to opt to drop down. Once that bubble goes down, though, they're not going to have any space here. They're going to get picked on from everybody. That bubble doesn't have a whole lot of time for them, and they've already used their Ashe ult. They probably should have held it, but all they can do now is just pray and wait. I don't know how they're actually holding this. They have no cover, but somehow they're holding it together. Noob King finally does go down. Bronzy's trying to take height, trying to fly up best he can. He shreds here with the Volt and does get the crack for about 140 damage. Like I said, Baby Nikki, as long as they don't get too involved and you don't overextend, they're going to be able to win this. They have it up there. They just got to wait. They can't get too aggressive with this. Bronzy's just chilling up here, and he's going to... I don't know how they're going to survive this. He's dancing. He's running around, trying to survive. Unfortunately, does go down. And then we have a Rack as well out. And there they go. They have now height based on the Ashe. Based on that Ashe tactical, or excuse me, ultimate. Now the tables have turned. There's the flank with Sync. He does get shredded a bit. He's able to rotate out. Let's see what Ace is able to pull together, as well as Snipe down. If they hold height, this has flipped. This is literally flipped. Right now, the power play is in synced roster at the moment. We'll see if they're able to clutch us out. They have the height as long as they don't get too greedy and don't drop. Get those nades out. They don't want to go for the ego, and Snipe down does. He goes for the flank. He does get one down. This could be it, and there we go. It goes to Sync's roster. Snipe down going for the aggro push and flanking him at various angles. What a play. We'll take a look at the scoreboard once it is ready, and then we'll take a look. Pretty solid plays overall. Not half bad. In a minute, we'll be sure to capture that score. Let's capture the scoreboard here at the end here. 2 seconds. We'll take a look. I'm going to go to it. All right, 2 seconds here. We'll take a look at the standings. The standings were updated, and we'll take a look in just a moment. Chat. And then we'll hop into the next lobby. So 2 seconds while we get the standings here for you. This was just from that round, so the synced team got first there. And let me save this. I'm going to put this in one of the chats for everybody, just to make sure we are good to go. 2 seconds, and I'm going to play some of the music in the background for you guys. All right, and let's break down everything that we saw there, and then I'll get into the next server. All right, let's talk about the standings. These were the standings that we saw before. Overall, Rogue's team was in first with ForceWatt in second and Sweet in third. That's what we saw there currently. This is going to be updated in just a moment, and we'll be able to take a look at those standings as they come in. So that was what was before. The scores are being tallied right now as we speak, and once they do, we'll go hop into the next round, okay? So give that about a few minutes and we'll talk about where the standings are. And don't worry, on the YouTube side, we're going to timestamp this. If you're on the Aim Lab side, we welcome you. Hopefully you're excited. So we're going to go into round 3 in just a moment, and I'll look at these scores once they are updated and finalized. All right, so game 3 about to hop in just a second. We'll switch over to this POV, and we'll get back into the server in just a second. All right, the new lobby is up. Let me hop in just 2 seconds. Hopefully you guys are enjoying everything you see. Shout out to the whole Aim Lab team for presenting this major event, and also to Sweet for putting everything together as well. We're all here together. It was a big team effort. Everyone deserves credit. Marianas is running things in the back end as well, and I'm your caster as well as tournament organizer for this event. So a lot went into this tournament, and hopefully you guys are all enjoying your time for this tournament. All right, we are going to make sure to keep these lobbies going. Keep these lobbies going. Make sure that we're good. And then we'll kind of talk about everything that we see and kind of break everything down. But we're keeping it going. We're keeping things fast. We're keeping momentum. Look at us. We're keeping on schedule. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard in just a minute. I'm going to mute up my comms for just a minute, make sure everything is going good on the production side of things. I'm going to mute up for just 1 second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look. Once it fills up, then we'll give the production crew in the back end, let them know that we're good to go here in a moment. Should share a view only of the standings. Let me see if I can share that with you guys. 2 seconds here. We do have that. And while we're here on the screen, I might as well do it for you guys. There we go. This on the Twitch side, and I'm going to post this on the YouTube side. Standings. Okay. 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to pin it on the YouTube side as well. Pin that. There we go. Perfect. And it's view only. All right, let's take a look at the server. We're almost filled up. We're getting there. Looks like we're only waiting for a few more teams before it goes. Looks like we need a mod. Let me see here. Let me link this to over from Aim Lab. I think they're able to post it. Standings. Okay. All right, once it switches over, once the scoreboards are updated, then I'll switch over and look at everything. We're looking pretty solid, looking pretty good. Appreciate all of you guys for being patient while we're segueing here and getting everything set up. Pretty solid round. Ty Sheen around that tree, ladies and gentlemen. How long he was able to survive with almost virtually no positioning. Baby Nikki's roster had the upper hand there, but surprisingly, the other teams were able to find their foothold and positioning to secure that dub. So pretty solid overall. I'm gonna let the production crew know. We got 3 more people waiting to join, and I think we can get started in just a minute, okay? Just muting up, so I'm just making sure. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch over to game 3. We got 3 more games for you guys for today, and then we'll be underway. Hopefully you guys are all... 1 second. What was that? All right, scores are good. I'll switch over to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the scores. The scores are updated, so let's take a look at that. The scores have been updated. Our first place team actually is synced with 37 total points with his squad, with 16 total kills. Rogue is still in second place with his roster now, moving from first to second and looking pretty solid, with Sweet's team still in the third, with Noob King actually boosting up to 4th place. So those are our top 4 teams that we're looking at right now. Pretty solid performance overall, and it looks like we're about to get started here in the tournament as well. So I'm going to switch over, and we are underway. Look at that. We are rolling, rocking and rolling with the lobbies. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you see. And I'll be sure to turn off the music so then we can hear all the ambiance in the lobby. I'll be sure to turn on highlights as well, because I forgot to do it in the last lobby. Make it public viewable. I messaged over to the Aim Lab team for the For the Twitch side, for YouTube side, I have it pinned. So 3 more games, correct. We have 3 more games that are underway. We are on game 3 at the moment, and we have a total of 5 taking place. So pretty solid across the board. Somebody made a comment. Daz's hair looks like Mirage. He has inspired me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so our first place team was synced. We'll make sure to keep a close eye on their roster and see how they do. They really cleaned it up there at the end. With Ace sniped down and synced. Very, very solid. Solid run, solid gameplay. Again, if you're on the YouTube side, don't forget to leave a like to show your support on this tournament. Shout out to Aim Lab for all their amazing backing. We're seeing a lot of the warm-up really helped. We saw everyone really engaged with doing the warm-up that you saw. So if you watch back this tournament, you'll see that everyone was participating and doing the Aim Lab portion of the tournament, which will announce the winners at the very end as well. So they actually split this. I remember last time they pushed out Imperial Hal and his roster, or AC's roster, excuse me. AC's team as well. The question, are they playing for money? The Aim Lab portion was $5,000 and the Apex portion is $5,000 as well with a 5-round match. But overall pretty solid. Are we going to see some early fights here? We'll take a look at the map. We might hear on the north side of the map near North Pad. They are pretty close. They're inside and looks like Reptar is pushing in. They've been taking a lot of different angles recently here. A lot of different landing spots. So it looks like they're going for the 50-50 here. Looks like the Mozambique does a lot of damage, unfortunately, but it's not enough. And they do have now 1 knock. McGravy, unfortunately, the gravy just wasn't thick enough. The gravy wasn't thick enough to hold it together. The Rampage, unfortunately, with a rate of fire at that angle just isn't going to do as much as you're hoping for. I think a lot of that really comes down to a bit of the loot that they had. Unfortunately, he only had a Mozambique. Imagine if my man had a EVA 8. Imagine if he had a Prowler. Oh my god, and he's absolutely destroying with that devotion. So we do have a potential fight here. Let's take a look at who's up on each side. It looks like he's deciding to run away. Let's see how many. They're all really low, but you know, I mean, the devotion only does so much. It looks like he's going to have to back away and try to reposition and find his footing again. Let's take a look who's done the most damage. It looks like it's from Naughty. He's definitely showcasing how much he likes Slurpee G. He's definitely showcasing that he's his best friend. Little bit of love being shared in the lobby there. And here we go. TSM Janie's roster is running up here on Sync's roster. They had this constant run-in, but they've always backed out and repositioned. This will be interesting to see. Tactical crouching. There we go, yeah.
Targeting that spot.
The wildlife in the center is going to cause problems, and there is the Ash ult to find them a different angle to get out, but that charge rifle is doing some work. Let's take a look at how AC's doing, or this is Janie, sorry, apologies. Janie's. I got mixed up because I saw Hal. Look at Jen Burton already making this a commentator's nightmare, having 2 Imperial Hals in here. So if you guys are curious, this is Jen Burton, by the way. It's Imperial Hal. But that is Jen Burton. Just trying to make my life even more difficult. That's all they're trying to do. But overall, not too bad. You got a little bit of damage going out there with the R301. He's got a Volt in hand. They are not backing down from this. They're not backing down on Sync's team. Surprising, the wildlife is not giving him much of a hard time at all. It looks like Complexity. Looks like they found Nocturnal, to say the least, on the north side of the map. And here they go. Jen Burton holding the door here. Pushing. Is he going to push out? Is he going to make this a play? We got a bubble dance going on. You know, Gibraltar is just no matter what map he plays, just showcases so much dominance and competitive. I was wondering how much he was going to be used. Oh, Taishin taking height. Valk on Valk action here. Taishin has to drop, unfortunately, does get dropped himself, and Jen Burton goes down, and all we have is Janie here to try to clutch it out. Does go for a lot of damage there, gets a solid 96, 97 damage. But, I mean, at this point, it's a 3v1. If all they do is just go push them and shove them, it's going to be really hard to say if they're going to survive. But they do have another team coming to the rescue, coming for the third party here. So Janie did manage to get a little bit of love there. She's an absolute monster on the controller, if you don't know. She's actually crazy. She needs to give herself more credit for what she does. She's probably one... one of the most underrated controller players that I've seen. And that's saying because she's already got a lot of attention for it. But just putting that out there. RKN, did he get the stick? Unfortunately, there goes one knock. Two knock. We're commentating Dr. Seuss here, but keeps hitting for like 10 damage with the EVA 8. Knocked, does not get knocked. And Cody has height to reposition, but unfortunately the Gibraltar ult did buy them a little bit of time. If you connect one of these PK shots and get a lot of damage in, that's going to be a good segue there. We do have a top off from Knocked, and let's go right back over to Cody because he's the one pushing in. There's a lot of damage in, and they are getting thirded yet again. Cody trying to hold this together. What team showed up? Sweet's team, they have 2 gold armors. My God, are they streaming? Question mark? And there's one of the Valve teams just... He out. That was Cody's roster, I think. Oh, and they did actually... Dude, they actually went for the res? Look at that. Jen Burton right back in it. They do have the bubble, and they are pushing right back. Saying, yeah, you might have knocked us, but we're back at this. So, solid recovery. They do have Taishin's banner, the man who survives every single bit of damage from a tree. And Sweet's team, I mean, the amount of resources they have and the fact they have 2 gold armors is absolutely disgusting. That's crazy. 2 gold armors makes for the reset with Ashe and Wraith. That's pretty nutty. Not gonna lie, that's pretty nutty. And look at that with a gold 30-30. Where are they're dropping checkpoints. So I have to question how much loot is that checkpoint. I might have to start dropping there. Trying to go for as much damage as possible. Sweet's rotating up as well as 0+. It's interesting to see everyone always keeps putting Ashe versus Wraith against one another. Oh my gosh, fun. What are you doing? But the real question should be Ashe with Wraith. That combination. With a Gibby, nonetheless. I think the other one, unfortunately, was able to get away, and they're trying to reposition. Does manage to get him up, but let's see if 0+ is able to run at them. He doesn't have his ult, and if he overextends too much, they do have the risk of a potential third party that might show up. Yeah, it looks like Baby Nikki always showing up. They're showing up. They've been aggro in this tournament. Let me tell you, they have been aggro in this tournament, which is really great to see. Their roster, pretty strong together. Pretty strong. If only could take the riff while setting portal. You know what's interesting that chat has mentioned that is you can use it afterwards and you get another tactical. I cover that actually in one of my guides and videos. There is a lot of synergy there, and Sweet actually got rid of his... Let's see how much... Oh, it's because he's got 120 left. So it looks like he's going for that red armor. So pretty solid there. Baby Nikki coming in with that charge rifle, and they're going to rotate pretty much for free to see where the multiple teams are at. They ping that. They're going to be landing right on top of them. That would be... Are the questions, are they going to grief a team here? They're going to get sandwiched here, and that building is free for now. No, actually, it's not. This is going to be really rough. They're going to get sandwiched really hard here in a second. Charge rifle from Baby Nikki going out. Give her a charge rifle, and she will do work. They do have one, and this is... see if they're able to hold it together here. Baby Nikki, unfortunately, does go down, and they're trying to recover this, but it is a 2v1. Actually, no, they did res. Okay, so it's a 2v2. 2v2, apologies. This is quite the combination to go against. You have Frex and Skittle Cakes going against here Jen Burton, as well as Taishin. It's a pretty strong force to be reckoned with, but let me tell you, you know, as stacked as this lobby is, it's been pretty balanced for the most part. The Rampage popping off, going for about a little bit of damage there, not too bad. Holding it together, 56 total damage. Let's take a look at Imperial House POV here. Not Jen Burton, but the Imperial House playing with AC. AC as team captain, holding it together. They do have height, and they're trying to find their angles. We've been actually pretty blessed in making sure that we find a lot of the action. Let's take a look at House POV, and they're rotating out. And they're gone. If they're leaving, they're gone. But it looks like Abrelelli, Lakine, and Reps are rotating right in. And if they rotate in, they might be able to third this. This is going to be an absolute mess here. This is going to be messy.
Target spotted far off.
They got the range. They're waiting to take their shot. They're waiting for the right moment. They're going to 3-2-1 this. This poor Bloodhound. They are unaware of what's going to happen to them. And there's the crack. They dished out an immense amount of damage. Good coordination on their team. holding that together. We see the rotation happening from the various teams. They're holding it down, but there's only so little time, and I keep pulling up the map. I want you guys to see, you know, as we get more comfortable with the map and everyone starts to learn it, you know, you can pull away from the map, but I want you guys to understand that when they're rotating here and they're going on the north side, that there's very little space. Oh, what's going on? Abrelli's making a push in. They're going for it, and there is the ultimate to counteract out, and they're pushing right through. They do not care. There is a tactical. They do miss the bind, unfortunately. They're trying to see if they can capture them out. They're getting burned. How to get burned? Abrelli resetting with a bat. And at this point, the push, they did manage to avoid the Gibby ult. All they got to do is find their footing and push in. Let's see if Abrelli's able to recover this. They do get shot in the back. He gets for 60 damage, and Kine and everyone are not looking solid right now. If he's able to connect this, he does almost get the knock, but unfortunately it's not enough. And they do go down. This goes to Tifa, Jesse, AC, and Imperial Hal. AC coming in clutch. Also, overall, is their team captain for the roster. But are they going to get rotated on? They do. And AC is absolutely shredding here. And Hal, unfortunately, knows that with that third party, he has to rotate out, and he does rotate away. But it was very, very close. Let's take a look at how much damage the enemy team took. It was a little rough. They weren't able to reset as much as they wanted to and force what this is their roster and team. We'll take a look at the scoreboard in just a little bit after this round to see what the standings are. But this is still Sweet's team as well as here we go, getting a little bit of action already. They're pushing right through. Sweet rotating right in. Decent spray there. And there is a nice spray from the flat line. He's going to rotate out, make sure not to get knocked. He's going to take the immediate port right after. Unfortunately, 0+ has gone down. They had the damage. Unfortunately, they just did not have the angles. And Sweet right now is your kill leader of the lobby with 738 damage. Does manage to recover the banner. His Q is gone, but he does have the port right there to reposition. Fun FPS is definitely holding it down for them, and they rotate out. But at least I got the beacon for the res that is located right here. And Snipe Down. Do you think that Snipe Down is going to grief them? Let's take a look at Snipe Down's POV. Here's the zip. This is one of those spots as a Valkyrie that's... Who's going to look up here? Is he going to let him have it? And it looks like he does. Looks like he's going to let him have it. They're going to let him have it at this point. And there we go.
Optics here. Close range.
Pretty solid in terms of positioning. We do have a lot. The south side of the map, man, has been most of the action. The south side has been an absolute nightmare for most teams that are rotating. The north side, they're really close to each other, but none of them are really fighting. They're just poking at each other. It's going to be commentator's curse because they do have a port down, and we'll see if they decide to use that to get in and out, or if they're just going to opt to not. There's literally 3 teams on top of each other, and they're not fighting. We do have Sweet's team here, rotating and holding their angle. This zone is definitely... Woo, man, look at that. Let's take a look, see if we can see Hawkus' POV. They have the building. They have the best angle here if they're able to hold that end. That's probably the best spot that you can hold, because then it's pretty open, I'm not going to lie. All right, Baby Nikki's team is getting pushed here. Let's take a look at how they're going to rotate. They're going to about to become a Jill sandwich. Valkyrie, gosh, I didn't think that she was going to have as much presence as she did, but Valkyrie really comes in clutch for Stormpoint. If you're just tuning in, this is Game 3 for the Apex Legends Invitational. Sweet Apex Invitational, presented by AIM Lab. Hosted, commentating is your man, Sor Daz. This is all put together in the back end, also by Sweet, as well as the production crew. We have Marianas in the back end. It was a team that put this together. Shout out to everyone for making it become possible. If you guys, excuse me, if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to leave a like on the YouTube side. If you're watching on the AIM Lab side, be sure to drop a follow. Let us know what you think of seeing Apex. This is, I think, one of the first Apex tournaments run from AIM Lab. So let us know what you think. Let's see, where's Hal chilling? We have Snipe Down and Hal just, they're enjoying the view. Beautiful view on both ends. And we have, let's take a look. What's going on over here? The L-Star has been nerfed, but definitely packs and punch. He got a little bit of 32 damage located there. He's going to throw his bubble out to push, and his Watson's going to rotate out while Omnu is going for the res. Let's see if they're able to recover this and if they're able to hold them off. He does have his ultimate as Ashe. But the question is, what can they do altogether? Let's take a look at Taxi's team. Taxi really rocking the horizon. Taxi is really much known for being a horizon and finding the angles and finding the space. He did knock Daltouche, unfortunately, for Daltouche, but fortunate for Taxi. And they decided to rotate out. There was only a few knocks that really happened, and everyone's just going right back to their spots. Notice how all these teams are just kind of poking at each other, except for Rocker's team, which is where Daltouche was a part of. Let's even manage to clutch this out. Can you get those connecting shots? Nice solid amount of damage, about 107 damage. Look at it there. I don't know, quick math. Quick math there for you. Got about 84 there. Can he go for the crack? And he does. Rocker's really pulling it together at 30-30. 30-30 is really pushing out a lot of damage. 73. Look at that. Literally one more headshot, and that Bloodhound, they go down. This is going to be a rough rotation for Rocker's team. Looks like Sweet has gone down. Let's hold on Rocker and see how they're going to rotate in, and then we'll switch over to Sweet's team in just a minute. Fortune does go down, and Zach, I don't think he's going to be able to survive this. And once he goes down, let's switch over to Sweet's team. Sweet has been res, and they do have the Ash ult here on the top. Punches out of sheer frustration of being pushed. They do have a nice little foothold up here, as long as they hold it together, and he is getting shot in the back. Let's go back over to 0+ to see if he's managed to get this bat off. He does have his tactical up. Sweet holding on for dear life as well at his angle, and he does go down flying, and he's trying to tap strafe to his buddy, to his friend. 0+ popping a med kit. He could pop around the corner, throw his tactical, or he can just hold and wait and pray for dear life. Fortunately, with a few of those shots, goes for a solid 96, almost knocks him, but the PK was just not enough to connect there. A lot of damage went out. 0+, literally clutching out almost a 1v3 there with the PK. With the PK buff is really holding it together. And there's a tactical. Does not get a bind. Actually does. He does connect one. The tether has been connected. Charges up that choke and goes for the res. This is a really intense situation here. Unfortunately, does go down. Noobs King's team, who was popping off before, is now keeping it together. Noob King did join as a last-minute captain and is really showcasing that his team can really hold it together. So shout out to Noob King and his team. They are getting pushed. Unfortunately, now Commentator's Curse. You know, you try to say they're holding it together, and then they get pushed by Designful, Vayne, and Hodsick. So Vayne is their team captain, and they're just trying to rotate away and trying to find their footholding. We do have another fight breaking out here with Designful, with Drac as the team captain, and look at that shot. Fires him right out of the air. That's Taxi, by the way. He's the only Horizon in the lobby, but does have the port to reposition out. That triple take. That does he need that much ammo? Chat, does he need that much ammo for the triple take? I'm not judging. I'm just saying that I know he uses a lot of ammo, but still, you know, it's just it's crazy how much. Oh, there's another rotation with the Valk. 23. See if we can get the infamous sexy at 9. Lol, hee hee. Solid positioning. Only 12 squads remaining. What's crazy about this map, I'm actually surprised of how much action there has been. There's a lot of choke points. It kind of reminds me of World's Edge. I want your feedback in the chats. Everybody should really give their thoughts on what they're seeing. This has been pretty non-stop, to be honest. Sometimes it holds a little bit longer, but unfortunately dropped has been, no pun intended, as a Watson main dropped. We'll see if they're able to find their foothold here. Rogue is just dancing with the zone. Got his R301 there, 42 damage out with a nice 83. Almost every one of them are cracked and gentrifying. Look at that. And they do get knocked. We do have a new kill leader, but unfortunately the kill leader is not going to hold for very much longer because they are getting grief from various angles. Here's Watson trying to hold it down, and what if he is able to find his way out of this? He's getting shot by everyone and their grandmother in the lobby, though, unfortunately. If he's able to pop his ult and buy himself some time, that would be pretty nice, but I highly doubt they're going to let him. And Taxi, who was knocked earlier, does find his foothold, and they are now fighting for 9th place. Let's switch over to another team. Vayne's team up on the south side is fighting all for dear life. Let's take a look at Drac, because they're the ones who have the most optimal positioning and are rolling in like thunder, like lightning. Not really sure what to compare it to, but nonetheless, it's pretty stellar to see. We do have a lot of teams fighting now. Let's take a look at Hawkus' roster, because they're the ones fighting. See if Mandy decides what he's going to do. He's going to tap strafe away and try to find his footing and positioning. We do have 4 SWAT's team rotating from the south side. Let's see if they're able to roll right through and third this upon the third. 34 seconds remaining. There's still a lot of teams that are still alive based on the zone. There's just not a whole lot of angles and positioning. They do get tethered. They do put the bubble down, and they have 25 seconds to decide what they are going to do. Taxi is a new kill leader. Let's take a look at his POV, what he's doing. As a new kill leader with 811 damage in lobby, 4 total kills. Is he able to keep this momentum? You don't see a whole lot of Horizons, but Taxi's sticking with it. You know, this map is based a lot on verticality, and Horizon still provides a lot of utility for everyone. I'm telling you, there's still 7 squads, and there's not a whole lot of space. Let's see, are they able to see the angle that they got here? Knew they were able to get an angle on them. 2,000 damage. I mean, going for a 4K badge. Let's take a look at Taxi. He's flying up in the air like a flying trapeze. Going for the bat. Trying to find his foothold. He's got several bats in his utility. And there's a fight here. This is going to be pretty much a 50-50 push. Taxi's literally 1 HP in a dream. Stay not able to get the crack. One more wingman shot goes for the kick. Does get the knock, but the zone is closing. Are they able to recover this just in time? And Naughty does. See if he's able to get his Gibraltar friend up in time while they recover, and the other team does roll up, and unfortunately there is a knock. Force what decided to show up just in time, and everyone, there was barely any space. Look at little Nikki right up, well, maybe Nikki's roster, right up in the sky, holding it together. Let's take a look. Who's the current kill leader? The current kill leader looks like it's Drax roster with currently the most amount of damage, and there's a flatline shot going out for about a 50 damage to see if the massive shot is enough, and they do get the knock. We have a few teams running left remaining. We have a team up top, which is Force What's roster. We have the team down below, which is Noob King, which is only a solo, but he does have a G7 scout to his name. And we do have another team also on the side here. If he can let these other 2 teams fight it out, that's a dub. They have the best positioning, though. Force What's team has a nice little, I guess you can call it a head glitch, and they also have all the loot up here. If they were to hold this together and wait, they do have the best positioning. We're going to hold on them because right now they have the highest probability of clutching this out. There's the tactical out to buy themselves a little time. He's popping his ult accelerant to see if he can get his ult in time. This should boost him up to around, I think, 90? Oh, actually pops it. We'll let this play out and see what happens here. If they hold this, they're going to win. All they got to do is hold and wait patiently, and they have the rock right in front of them to continue to get height.
Let's explore this way.
They just don't know where the other team is, and hopefully Noob King's team does not grief them too hard. Switch over to Enoch. Enoch's taking point right now. See if he's able to... If he connects at least a headshot or 2, that's going to be a massive advantage for them. Looks like they caught wind of the... Let's turn on highlights here. Sorry, I haven't had highlights on. I apologize for that. There's not a whole lot of space, man. There's not a whole lot of space. And there's a queue to buy themselves some time, and it looks like Drac managed to knock Noble out. I'm going to keep on Enoch because he's the one that's point man right now. Push in. There's the bubble fight, and here we go. They do have the advantage here. If they, like I said, they hold it together 3v1, this is their match, and it goes to Force What. Very nice on Force What's part. Very, very solid. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, what it looked like before, and then we'll look at the scoreboard once we put everything together here. So let's take a look. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. So this was the... Let me grab the actual scoreboard itself before, and then we'll talk through everything, okay? 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. And then we'll be underway. We'll look at the scoreboard, what it was before, and then what it's going to turn into. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. All right. So it's Force 1 in first with their roster, and second or third was Noob King's team, and then second was Drax. So let's take a screenshot here. Make sure we have all that. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard, what it was before, though. So this is what the scoreboard was before, and it's going to get updated because that was round 3. We're going into round 4. Sync's team was actually in first with Rogue in second place. Excuse me, and Sweet in third. We're going to see how that changes up, though. Noob King still has been very, very consistent with his team. They were able to rat quite a bit into third place, which does give them quite a bit of points to boost up. Force What going into taking first place there is going to boost them up potentially to first, second, or third. And we're going to take a look at those scores in just a second. So let me hop in game here in just a second here. And we'll discuss everything that we saw from the last round. A few seconds here, ladies and gentlemen, while I pop in and we'll break things down. We're going into game 4. We have 2 matches left. The servers have been popping. We've been very, very fast with that. Very, very fast. We're making sure that you guys have non-stop action on the back end and everyone is connecting. Once the scores are updated, I will switch to that POV of the scores and we'll talk through everything that we see. Let me talk with the production crew in the back end and make sure we're all. All right, so we're about to segue here. We're just waiting for all the teams to connect, and once they do, we'll get started in the next round. We've been popping these servers left and right, ladies and gentlemen. We want to make sure you guys see action. There's very little downtime. We want to make sure that you guys are seeing everything that's going on. And once the scoreboard is updated, I will chat with you guys in just a minute about what we see. Force What is definitely making a pretty strong comeback, though, overall, so it's pretty solid that we're seeing. We have 2 rounds left. 2 rounds left. This is a $10,000 tournament. 5,000 on the AIM Lab side, 5,000 on the Apex side. We'll talk about who won first place, third, and second, or excuse me, first, second, and third for AIM Lab at the very end, as well as break down the winners overall from what we see. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you're watching on the AIM Lab side, AIM Lab official Twitch channel, be sure to drop a follow. Let us know in the Twitch chat if you enjoy seeing Apex tournaments on the AIM Lab channel. And if you are on the YouTube side watching me, don't forget to leave a like to show your support, and let us know if you want more of this. Who is that Hal playing with Taishin? That is actually Jen Burton. He is trolling and changed his name. So that is actually Taishin who we were looking at. So again, I want to say hi to all of you guys. Welcome. If you're just tuning in, this is game 4 that you're watching, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get into the next round. All right, let me look at the scores real quick. All right, once the server's full, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let you guys know the production crew in the back end is just tallying. Once the scores are updated, we'll break it down, and I guarantee it's probably gonna be pretty quick here. We're going pretty fast. Everyone's just getting in the lobby, and we'll get into the next round. Fast, fast, fast. Hopefully we're getting to the action. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you see. Want to make sure you guys are having a great time. We're getting close to the server being full, and he'll give me a heads up once the scores are tallied. Honestly, with how fast the servers are going, we may have the server up before the scoring is ready, but don't worry, we'll go over it. It's pinned on the YouTube side, and Ahmad has been very gracious in updating it on AIM Lab so you guys can see the overall standings. You know, everyone has been very much finding how powerful Valk is and finding various spots that nobody could think of. I think as everyone provides feedback on what they think about this map, I honestly think the action is pretty great. I think the only downside of what we really see is Valkyrie just getting into up crazy spots that nobody can shoot. You know, that's going to be the real trouble point, I think, personally, with Storm Point, but still really, really strong. Okay. All right. I want to let you know, Mari, that the server's almost full. We're waiting on 2 more people. I'm going to leave my voice come up. All right, we're just waiting for Presley to hop on over, and it looks like we can get started here in just a second. And then we'll switch over the scoreboard. So the server's probably going to be up faster than the scores. You know, people have been really fast, so that's fantastic. But yeah, Valkyrie is really strong on this map. Stronger than I thought. I would think that with the rotations it wouldn't be as powerful because of the height and the walls. Our scores are done. Thank you so much, Mari. Appreciate you. We're just waiting on Presley. We might be able to move him over and just start. Yeah. All right, we'll give him 30. All right, let's talk about the scores. I'm going to mute up. Let's talk about the scores, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at those. So Sync's team is still in first place at the moment, with Force What's team in second, and Noob King in third, and Rogue's team in fourth. So those scores have been updated, as you can see from the screen there. Overall, pretty solid. This is really between Sync, Force Sweat, Noob King, and Rogue, and Taxi. This could still be anybody's tournament. Sync's team has just been very, very consistent overall. And it looks like the server has started, so let's switch over to Game 4. Game 4, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting started. I'll turn off the music once we are good to go. And hopefully you guys enjoy what you're saying. Everyone curious how much money is on the line. It is 5,000 for the aim lab portion and 5,000 for the Apex side. But you know, this is great practice for anybody who's here right now because this is one of the first tournaments that you're seeing on Stormpoint. There's been a few others, but this is just one of the few many that you're really seeing. It was really great to see. So Game 4, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying, don't forget to leave a like on YouTube. If you are excited from what you see, you know, let's give a shout out to everyone in chat. Talk with everybody in chat. I see existing users. Mila, great to have you here. Ninja, thank you so much. Watson, the Watson, Ninja Bread, AC, Curry. Let's take a look at the aim lab side. Flex, We Move TV, great to have you as well.
All I care about is who's the best.
Mayhem, great to have you. Boss Guy, thank you so much for modding the channel, being great. Everyone is important. Wait, why snipe down a different team? Because this is a creator tournament. Everyone is squatting up with people they not necessarily have squatted up before. So you're going to see a bit of lag there, and just making sure to turn off the music for you guys. Let's turn on highlights. And let's follow these teams. Let's keep an eye on Sync's roster with snipe down. They have been really, really clutching it out. What's really interesting is that Synced, by the way, the teams that are performing well, I'm not putting anything out there. Well, I guess technically I am. But what's really interesting to see is that the people who performed really well on Aim Lab are also performing really well in the tournament. Now, granted, aim is just one part of the equation. You have to understand rotation, where you're going to drop for loot. You have to understand good communication with their squad, your Legends ability. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. But the fact that Sync's roster, by the way, they scored really, really high, is really interesting to see that they've remained consistent overall. I see if there's any 50-50s that we're seeing. We do have some gunfire happening, but I think it's just mostly with the wildlife overall. So Game 4, ladies and gentlemen, they got a longbow and a Volt from Noob King, looking pretty solid. Let's take a look at Sync's roster. Everyone is being quite respectful at the drop. Everyone is being respectful, landing various areas. You don't see anybody really close besides Snipe Down and Janie's team. Because they took antenna. I want to zoom in on this. You see, they took antenna here. But you see the area that they're splitting. Even though it's no name, they're splitting this area quite nicely and using it to level up their evos as fast as possible. I actually, initially, I'm not going to lie, I really despise this portion of the map just because of wildlife. But they're really using it to their advantage to level up their armors and getting that extra loot. So interesting that I personally didn't even think about it. Look at his aim. Solid. Makes sense from the sphere track precision that you saw. And nice target switching there. So really, really solid from what we're seeing. And see if I'm just enjoying Sync's aim right now because nobody else is really doing a whole lot right now. Everyone is being very respectful in the lobby. Sync right now has got the most stuff happening. There's another free purple there. He leveled up a free purple for his teammates. But you know what? At least for the tournament as well, when you got the wildlife right here, it does keep some things pretty interesting as well. They do a lot of damage, honestly. If you guys are enjoying the stream on the Aim Lab portion, don't forget to drop a follow. If you're enjoying this on the YouTube portion, don't forget to leave a like and, you know, subscribe. I always enjoy casting tournaments, and it's been interesting to see. Let's capture some of the action over here. We're fighting some of the wildlife, but let's see if Taxi, he sees them. He sees them. He's waiting for it. Taxi's the only Horizon. Dude, the Loba get switched out? No, Nocturnal's still running Loba. Loba is very thick for this lobby, and she's getting all the loot. And we gotta wait to see where the rotations are happening. A lot of wildlife fighting is happening. Taishin, as well as Janie. Janie's the team captain for her roster. Taishin with the longbow. The longbow, any sniper on this map just does work. Just very, very strong. 47 in the Gibby. If he gets another one, he will get the crack. Unfortunately, does not. But that gold longbow, let me tell you, Taishin and the longbow just are doing some work. We do have a rotation here from Noob King and his team. Just keeping an eye. Oh, and they're getting rotated on. They are getting rotated on. Noob King's team is huddling up right back in the building, and we're going to have a full 50-50 fight here. They do get a little bit of damage and almost go for a crack, probably about 80 damage done. There's a bubble for the rotation. We do have Knock putting pressure and going right into the building. Decides to opt out because they have height. Is this going to be a stall? Is this going to be a stalemate? Are they going to be able to push through? You see them through the wall there. Does have an angle, and that Ash gets absolutely caught out of position. This is not looking good for Noob King. They were holding pretty solid placement in the bracket before. Are they going to get knocked here? He gets a lot of damage. Cody rocking that Valkyrie. Tactical and falling up from height down below. Every which angle, up, down. Dr. Seuss, and there's the cleanup. But the question is now... Oh, sorry, it was the other team. My apologies. Was not actually Noob King's team. That was actually Serial Low's Drum Bums roster. I apologize. Commentator's curse. I just mixed up the teams there, but nonetheless, Noob King coming in and cleaning this up. Listen, we can't get everything right all the time, right? They were right on top of each other. I didn't realize that there was a whole other team there. The center of the map? Wow, this is going to be really rough. Taishins looks like he unfortunately got knocked. There was a lot of sniping going on from a distance. Reptar's team does have the center, but they could be a sandwich here that could occur. Nobody is running Watson. A poor girl Watson. Let's see where the next fight's going to break out. They're right on top of them, but I don't think Noob King and his roster are going to push up. Rack does have a nice angle here. Unfortunately, wasn't able to connect every single shot. Only got one bullet in. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to run into. We do have Taxi and his team rotating on this team over on the west side of the map over by Mill, and they are crafting, and they're going for it. They're going for the aggro push. Now, two things can happen here, ladies and gentlemen. We could have a fight that breaks out on in the center of the zone, and they're look at this plotting, look at this planning, waiting for the right moment. And there it goes. Let's see if we can get the Horizon ult. Throws it right in front. Does he manage to catch him out just in time? Unfortunately, it's not enough. He threw it, but he managed to get away from it. Taxi is going on the offensive here. There it is. It's a pretty solid angle. Fortunately, wasn't able to connect every single shot that he was looking for. I know that, like I mentioned, another fight is breaking out right as this happens. It always happens that way. Unfortunate. I know they're trying to get aggro on us. They look at that damage. If Taxi doesn't run on that, yep, there he goes. Exactly what I knew was going to happen. Once the damage is out, you know that it's secured and you know to push. That nade does get a little bit damage in, but I believe he got the bat off. Let's see if he's able to cut the corner. He did get the bat off, but he should have probably about 120 HP remaining. The damage isn't necessarily all split the way it should be. A nice wall bounce by Taxi there. Is getting shot from a different angle. Does he have a bat? Unfortunately, does not. He's going to slow heal it, but Urias is there to provide cover. They have a 3v1 situation, and Taxi does have his tactical if he decides to push up. Are they going to get thirded? They are not, and they decide to rotate out, and that Valkyrie is gone. Wait, did they actually get him out? No, Designful did get out. Okay. So we do have a lot of teams fighting in the center, but nobody is full committing right now. Everyone's playing a little bit Jurassic Park right now around the center. Everyone is finding their positioning, but it doesn't look like there is a major push that's taking place. Sweet does have a nice little angle here, pushing a little forward with his team. They have a lot of space to their name. There's an angle here in the center. Oh, there we go. Let's watch Sweet absolutely fry. Ooh, look at that. Nice little jiggle peek there. Take two. Take two, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a little bit of water in my system. Remember to hydrate. Hydration is good. Really, really solid design. Feels trying to go back for the banners. But are they going to banner camp? Are they going to be respectful and let them grab the banners, or are they just going to banner camp? Because realistically, if they leave... How much time does he got on the banners? He's got 23 seconds. If he can get the banners... Did they see him? I don't think they did. I don't think they did. And Design Tool is just saying it's not worth it. So unfortunately was not able to get those banners. The time on them was just too low. Just unfortunate circumstance. But he's still in and he's still able to go for placement. Let's see who's the kill leader. Currently the most amount of damage done happens to be from Urisa's team, or sorry, Taxi's team. And right now, believe it or not, this zone has a lot more cover than I give it credit for. This is the center here, but the wildlife definitely provides a lot of cover and the ability for teams to avoid. I mean, with the wildlife, there's only so much that you can do, especially if they run up on you. So it's very difficult. Every time I look at this side of the map, I just think Jurassic Park, and the theme gets stuck in my head, and if I sing it, you know, we get DMCA'd, so. Not really, I don't know if we actually would. We do have a fight breaking out. We got Hal and AC. The best duo that you'll ever find on Apex Legends. Their synergy together is going to be unmatched. It looks like they're opting for the rotation. Sweet's team was definitely becoming a bully there. They have a lot of real estate space. A lot of space. Look how much space that they have allowed them. Speaking of which, let's hop over here. Abrelelli fighting Rogue's team, I believe. Oh, look at that. That was a nice little slide jump into that. They're going for the recovery here. Kine trying to hold it down as much as possible. We have a lot of teams rotating on top of each other. This is an absolute cluster right here, and there's the ult to buy themselves a little bit of time. Let's take a look at this team down below. It is Janie's team with Taisheen and Jen Burton. Going up on the height, trying to find the angle. They do have one team below, one team up top, and there's the nades to try to push them out. And there's another roster on the outside with Baby Nikki. So they got 3 different teams here holding very little space. Space does not exist here. This is not free real estate. This is a whole different image that we're seeing compared to Sweet's team. Sweet's team has a lot of space. These teams have very little space. It's like living in New York City. Very little space. They know if they push this, they're going to get caught out, so I highly doubt they're actually going to engage in this, especially with the team that's holding them out on the angle. Make sure we're not missing any other fights. I highly doubt they'll push. This would be one of those moments that if you push, it would almost be considered quote-unquote throwing, just because you know the other two is going to show up right behind, and you can't guarantee that it's going to be a clean mop-up. It's just not going to happen that way.
Marked my next location.
And there they are. They do see the team on the south side, but they do have some positioning. Janie as team captain here, really holding it together for her squad. So they have the space. Nobody is engaging. We do have 17 rosters left in the lobby.
Let's explore this way.
They do have the resources. Is the Loba's team still up? We do have a Loba team still up. They have their ult down. Most teams, as you can tell from the map on the antenna side, this is where it gets... If it pulls on the north side, God forbid, that we're going to feel bad for all the teams that have to rotate. And you can shoot through those, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know. Nice little damage trade there. You got 50 and about like 46, so Nocturnal trading a bit of the damage there. Sweet's team holds a lot of this. I feel like this is going to pull towards the center on the upper side, which means everyone on the south side here is going to have an absolute nightmare, which is what we're going to keep an eye on, because I believe this is where the next fight's going to break out. Oh, actually, no, it's the south side. They already picked the ring. My apologies, I didn't even see that. So, with this rotation, this is going to be the ultimate sandwich here on this angle. With Baby Nikki, if they were to hold this, they might have the biggest opportunity. And it looks like Rogue, he's all by himself, alone in the world. This team in the center, while you would think that it's the best position to be already in the center, they're going to get absolutely hammered from every which angle. That building is pretty solid, though, that they're on, so they might actually be able to just hunker down. We'll just have to see how much they can hold down together. Charge rifle, but got to be careful not to get knocked, especially this early in the stage. And they do have their armor swaps. They are hunkered down pretty heavy. There's the Valk ult, and they do find the positioning over here. This is a nice little nook here that they do have. That's Taxi's team, just a heads up. They're going to push on this. He hasn't used his tactical. He can go for this. The Arcstar is going to buy themselves a lot of space. And there's a stick. And this is going to have Taxi's just destroying their team. I know Naughty's going for the cleanup, but those nades, that ult, and he's going to find this Wraith right around the corner. Unfortunately, they do get knocked. They weren't able to secure the last kill, but it looks like they have bought themselves some space and some real estate there. Let's take a look at Sweet's team, how they're going to rotate in. This is the problem that we're going to experience right now in the lobby. A lot of teams are still learning this map and figuring it out, especially from comp, but things are going to get really hectic really, really fast. Zero Plus threw out his tactical, but it does not tether, does not connect with anything. We do have another fight breaking out. That's just the unfortunate part. We're going to have like 4 different fights that are about to break out, unfortunately. It's just a matter of which one is going to be the most aggressive. Looks like they're rotating on the soft side. That's Baby Nikki's roster. They're going for the rotation, and there is the Valcult. Everyone's going to Valcult and find some positioning to get in, but the question is, let's take a look at Snipe Down where they're going to find the spot. Synced is the top team right now. He's cracked. He's absolutely insane. Their team is actually unsigned, right? I believe unsigned. I got to double check on Twitter. I know that they just posted a contract gift, so they might actually be signed. But the biggest thing that we're highlighting with this team from Synced is it's so much untapped potential. They have so much talent, and the team that he's been playing with before has so much potential. Right now for this tournament, this is, you know, for fun, but also competitive, and Taxi's rolling up right there. Just so you know that his Taxi took about 190 damage there. And they're going to have to hold to see if they're able to buy themselves some time. He does push out and see if he's able to finish him. Don't get too aggro there. Ace is trying to find the angle. And there they go. They do have that ability. Let's see. Unfortunate for this team. They're all right on top of each other. That rotation definitely worked out in their favor. But we're also going to see AC and Imperial Howl look for a rotation here. He's probably going to throw the scan up and hold this angle. And there's the scans. I don't think they're going to survive for very long here. But he does manage to get an amazing amount of damage. And AC's holding on for dear life and unfortunately does get knocked by RKN. And we do have our new kill leader of the lobby, which is Noct. We do have Force SWAT who's flying right in, but also really low. Let's take a look at our kill leader, see what they're going to do. See if Noct is aware of them. Noct is actually on controller, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Noct is was playing with Cloud9 from before. And I might be misspeaking on that, but I know he's signed still with Cloud9, but look at that spray. But I don't think he's playing with the Cloud9 boys.
Let's go here. Cancel that.
Do you see that they have quite a bit of real estate space? Let's take a look on this side of the map. This is our current team that's in first place. If you're curious on the standings, on the YouTube side, I had it pinned. On the Twitch side, for if you're watching on AIM Live, it is located with a mod that's going to be spamming it for you guys. This is our current top team roster, so let's keep an eye on them for now to see what they're able to do. We do have 0 plus knocking Rogue, which was a rat, so you see that in the kill feed on the upper right. We didn't miss the fight there. That's just Rogue was just ratting it out. So he went out in 11th place there. They have 52 seconds to rotate here. If this team goes out early, they have a massive lead right now. They have a really solid lead. So it's just a matter if they can keep it together. Let's take a look at Synced. His score on Sphere Track Precision was really, really strong. And if you're curious how your aim holds up against some of the pros, go play Sphere Track Precision and try to compete to see if your aim holds up.
Enemy far. Don't let them slip away.
Good exercise to do. So we're seeing how a Valk paired with the Nash is actually really, really effective. With the Gibraltar always going to be there for the anchor. They got 10 seconds to rotate here. This is our top place team. This is first place going into game 4. Unfortunately, does get caught out. Took a little bit too much damage there. Going to back up to his team. Imagine he got shot there. That was actually pretty nerve-wracking. If the other guy swung a little bit more, could have actually gotten him out. All they're trying to do is buy themselves a little time. They got 35 seconds. 35 seconds in a dream. They're trying to go for as much loot and potentially a swap, but Ace takes a lot of damage. And there's the ult. They're having the same thing that happened to them with Taxi whenever he rolled up with them. So again, we're keeping an eye on this team, just because I know there's going to be a lot of teams. They are just in the thick of it, man. This map is really interesting. It can get a little quiet, but then it gets just super chaotic from what you can tell. So this is definitely going to lose them some points, and Baby Nikki's team has done a phenomenal job there, taking back some points and positioning. Take a look at Cloud9's team. Noct, RKN. Seeing how they're going to position. He's going to try to jump and shoot here. He should be able to jump and shoot there. But they are getting shot in the back, and they have to hold their position. They can't get too greedy here. If the other team, if they just wait them out, because there is a roster on the far left as well. That's Sweet's team, by the way, that you're looking in the front there that just got scanned. If they get a little too greedy, Sweet's team is probably going to roll up right on. Let's take a look. Look at that. See what I mean? If they give them a little bit too much real estate space there, that's going to not bode well Let's see how they push through this, actually. Let's see how they're able to find some spots. He does get a crack with his tactical, and he's going to go for the finish here. Very nice. Let's take a look at how Sweet is doing. By the way, Sweet is the man who's the Sweet Apex Invitational. This is all behind the name of Sweets. Or Sweet, excuse me. Shout out to the AIM Lab crew for pushing this event, presented by AIM Lab. The first part that you saw was the warm-up, was a pre-show by AIM Lab. We have the crew in the back end, myself working on things, as well as shoutcasting. Enjoy what you see. Don't forget to leave a like. And if you're watching on the Twitch side, be sure to drop a follow. Let people know that you like what you're watching. So we'll hold on Sweet for now, just because... Well, let's go back and forth between these two. This is going to be... Okay, let's bounce between these two. Sweet and RKN, I think, have the highest probability right now of potentially clutching this out. They're going for the rotation, so we'll hold on RKN to see what they're going to do. RKN's team. Cody has really nice movement for Valkyrie, by the way. His movement is really solid. Let's see where Sweet is able to land with his crew with on FPS and 0+. And that ultimate, but they do have a little space. They do have a little space. Are they just going to push right in? Yes, they are. They're going to ego RKN's team. They bully them out. And they have discovered space where it did not exist before. This is very nice. Can they clutch this out? They got one knock. It is a 2v2 situation, 2v1 situation, and there it is, and there's a cleanup. Let's see if they get 30. We have our new kill leader, which is 0+. We managed to capture that action, but the question is, are they going to get 30'd? Sweet, can he clutch this out? Their team, I believe, was in 4th or 5th place. Ooh, nice little snap there by 0+. This man is absolutely shredding and on fire. We got a few teams remaining. There's the Ash ult on the roof. Right now, the team that has the highest probability of winning this would still be Sweet's team, I believe. We looked at both of them. I said RK and Sweet, and, well, they fought it out. And they have the building aside. They have the cover, and as long as they hold the cover, they should be golden. As long as they don't get a little bit too greedy, they should be fine. This is a big game for them. Currently, what you're watching is round 4. We do have one more round after this. Is going to be a 5-round elimination. The first part of the tournament was with AIM Lab, which was a separate prize pool. They're holding here. There's no reason to come. I'm letting you guys enjoy what you're watching. You know that everyone is waiting. The zone is closing. The team on the north side is the one that's going to have to push out first. Letting you guys hear the footsteps.
Meet me here.
They're moving up on them. I heard a cell pop on the right. You can tell the 0+ is definitely waiting to see if they can catch him out. Let's take a look at Sweet's POV. He's the one that's got the most aggro situation. They're on the roof. They're not going to push him out. Let's see if he does a sky nade. Sweet is very big on nades. If you haven't watched the stream, it's always big on nades. Sweet is really, really smart in terms of positioning and what to do. The team up top is going to have to probably leave before them in terms of cover. All they have to do is wait. There's the pressure from the team up above that we mentioned. The pressure is happening, and that team is going to have to leave. Let's see what they managed to do, because they have lost their bubble. But luckily with Sweets, and there it is. He does throw a nade, and it probably sticks on the roof of that bubble. See if it connects damage. He does. Solid amount of damage. Looks like about 60. He throws a nade to make sure that they don't jump down on them. They're buying themselves as much time as possible. Gets a massive crack. Sweet coming in with 2 massive nades, and I mentioned above, the team is just going to have a hard time above. They still have their bubble. There's the bubble pop. All they got to do is wait. They got to wait for the other team to do as much damage as possible and make the other mistakes. There's the Q out. The tactical does get a crack, does a little bit of damage, goes for the flank here, finishes up the Bloodhound. Sweet has a nice flank, but he's trying not to get too greedy, trying to find his angle, does get knocked. And unfortunately, that is Sweet's roster that does go out and prizes team. Wow. Really clutched out. Baby Nikki almost got the clutch there. Almost. Sweet had a phenomenal flank. And he played it right. He played it very well. It's just unfortunate that another team rolled in. And look at that skin. Gosh, that Gibraltar skin actually looks way better than I thought. It's a really good looking skin. hop in the music, and then we'll discuss what we talked about. And we'll look at the scoreboard from the before, and then we'll get the scoreboard updated for the after. We got one more game in us for today, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll chat things through. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just get the scoreboard here and talk about what happened before and what's happening now. All right, so from the before, this was before the scores are updated. Sync's team was way in the lead, as well as Force What. But the thing is, you have a prize who really is going to shoot up with his team overall. Baby Nikki has remained very consistent, as well as Sweet's team. So they got third. They had a few kills to the name. So this is still anybody's tournament going into Game 5. Anything could really happen here is if somebody just pops off and has a massive game. So anything can really happen. So let's switch over to the screen here, and let me hop into the next lobby. The next code is going to go up. This is the last one for today. Game 5. Hope you guys are enjoying what you see. It's been a really solid tournament so far. All right. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the next one. This is going to be very telling. Last round, and we'll go over the score, and we'll discuss who came out on top. Who came out on top. So I just want to say hello to everybody. Welcome again to the channel. You're coming into Game 5. This is the last round of the tournament for today. We just talked about the scores. I'm going to bring them up here. Let's talk about those real quick again. What you see is going to pop up. 2 seconds there. There it goes. And then we have Sync's team, who was before and first. We have second, which is Force. Third, which is Noob King. This is going to change. Once the scores update, they're going to change. They're pinned on the YouTube side and the Aim Lab side. They've been very gracious and also putting it in chat. So we'll switch here. Multiple switches. And yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying what you see. It's been a great tournament so far. Everyone is hopping in. It's been very, very competitive. Everyone is definitely fighting for their dear life. And I appreciate all of you guys. So in a moment here, we'll be ready. I'm going to chat with the back end, make sure that we're all good. And I'll speak to you guys in just a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you see, the lobby fell out. This was a creator tournament. This was one of the first tournaments that you're seeing for this map on Stormpoint. So you can call it maybe a historical event, especially with these amount of amazing players that you're seeing in the lobby, because there's a lot of talent that are located here. Everyone's piling in. So we might actually be able to get this started actually much faster than we anticipate. So again, a big shout out if you're just tuning in. This was presented by Aim Lab. The big first portion was a pre-show, the warm-up, seeing the effectiveness of how Aim Lab works within Apex. I mean, you see it. You see the talent. If they can utilize sphere track precision with that amount of accuracy, then it makes sense that it translates in-game as well. There's other factors, of course. You got to factor in your positioning, your communication. There's a lot of factors, but of course, having great mechanical aim is great as well. Let's talk about here. Also, shout out to everyone in chat. We got Q, we got Boss Guy, thank you so much. Tristan, thank you so much for being here. Flex, existing user, JJ. Appreciate all of you guys for being a part. Let me let them know that the lobby is almost full up, so we can get started. Waiting for one person to move over, and I think we're... All right, so we might start the lobby before the scores are ready. Yeah, it's Nikki. She's waiting to move. All right, we're just waiting on Nikki to move over, and then we'll be good to go, and then we'll talk about the score. The scores are being updated as we speak, so they're working on that. Again, we're kind of a small team working on everything here. Yeah, we're making good on time right now, anyways. I'll keep an eye. right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, you know, some of the back end, we have some of the back end what we're seeing. We're just waiting on baby Nikki. I don't want to force her to move over quite yet. Maybe they're conferring with their squad and kind of chatting things out. Once baby Nikki is ready, then we'll get started. Type in the chat. All right, let me let them know, and then we'll get started here. All right, Nikki moved over. Looks like we're ready to get started. Nice, I'll go over the scores now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the scores. The lobby is about to get started, and the scores are ready. Let's see here. We have still Sync's team not having the massive lead that they had before, but still a pretty solid lead. We have Sweet in second place. That was a massive gain for them. We have Baby Nikki's team in third place. Look how close it is. 45, 42, 41. The points are extremely close. This is still anybody's game. Force Sweat's team can show up and still take the first place prize as well as a prize, and Noob King. Game 5 is going to be pretty huge for these teams. This is going to be a big moment. Let's switch over to the action again, and we'll chat things through. Okay. I'll be sure to turn off the music when we get in. I'll be sure to turn on highlights. Big shout out to everyone who participated in the tournament for today. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your time. I appreciate everyone for being a part. For those that are watching, for those that are participating, everything is important. All right, let's get into it. I appreciate you got the Mirage hair going on. Thank you guys all so much for watching.
Introducing your champion.
All right, in a moment. Yeah, of course, I appreciate all of you guys. Hopefully you guys all had a really great time. Let me turn off the music here so then you guys have it. I'll keep the scores on the left so I can see that as well. So it's going to lag for a second. I apologize for that. I just want to be sure to have the scores up so when we commentate this, let me turn on the highlights. And ladies and gentlemen, we're underway. So the top team right now, we're looking at Sweet. We're looking at Synced. We're looking at a lot of different teams here that are really holding it together. Really holding it together. It's really tight. We got a small variance overall in the score, and we'll see just how it all plays out. We'll hold on to Sync's team as well as Synced and Sweet. Sweet Synced are our three big teams here. Really proud of how everyone has been taking this tournament. Everyone's been taking it very seriously. And you know, like we did before, Synced has been enjoying these little critters here. Look at them critters. He's even tethering them and everything. My gosh, he's got a million of them on him. Look at that. If he didn't have his tether, I think he'd almost would have gotten knocked there. But phenomenal overall performance from what we're seeing on the teams. Not one team has been taking this tournament away with them. It's been overall really close performance across the board. And it's going to be really exciting to kind of see where teams provide their feedback based on this map too. I think even you guys who are watching on the YouTube side or Twitch side can give your thoughts from a viewer's perspective. I mean, what the heck is going on with Promo's team here? They're fighting pretty early on up here. What is going on? Daltouche, let's make it happen, man. The man is a myth, a legend. Don't sleep on the man Daltouche. He's got it where it counts. Unfortunately got knocked, but you know, hey, worse things have happened, right? No one can say that Daltouche will not make an outstanding effort and performance with anything that he does. He's not afraid to give it a shot. Oh, that nade is going to be a little nasty. It does manage to dodge it. I'm trying to hold it together here. Nice crack and clean up there. And we have our man Delouche making it happen. In case you don't know that reference, that's what Nick Merckx called him at one point. Delouche! Can we get some Delouches in the chat? Delouche. And there's the unfortunate flank there. I didn't even hear him myself. Promos and Kion show up, and they absolutely destroy this here. Sorry, not Promo, Xennial. And there it is. There is that cleanup. There's the first two squads out. Some teams are definitely going for more of the aggro pushes, and that's because, well, you got to get those points, you know? Got to get those points now at this point. Every little bit's going to matter. Let's see if any other teams are really fighting it out. Oh, no, they're fighting them little critters still. That's perfectly fine. Fighting the critters, everything is looking great. Everything is looking hunky-dory. What's going to happen at this point, because 2 teams are already out, I think some of the action is going to slow down just a little bit while teams rotate in. But excuse me, for the top teams, we have Sync, Sweet, Baby Nikki, Force What, Apprise, Noob King, Taxi, and Rogue. Every single one of those teams, because their scores are so close, I highly doubt in this last round are they going to go for some early encounters. Very unlikely. We'll see what happens with the teams. How do you spell Deluche? They talk about his abilities. Honestly, the Brock is very good. Map has been very good. Only issue is a lack of fuse. We did have 1 fuse. Yeah, and it looks like a few of them have, unfortunately, left. But it's how it goes. It's just the last round of the tournament, and once they're done, they're done. That's kind of it. Listen, everyone has their moments. What we're dealing with is, oh my gosh, he got absolutely fried there. What we're looking at is an extremely strong server of players. And sometimes just things don't work out in your favor, especially with loot, the comms. There's a lot of variances and a lot of factors here. And by the way, this is not looking good for Sync's crew, and the reason I'm watching them right now, because they need to go for this res and recover. Where's this buddy at? Let's take a look here. He's behind the rock. They should be able to get him. I don't think they're going to push on that. It's a little bit of ways away to push in the distance there. I guess he's keeping an eye on where the other roster is. He's trying to make a big circle around, but I honestly think Sync should just go right back. And he does. I think he was trying to make a big rotation in, but they luckily managed to recover this. This is our first place team, so this is pretty important for them. Let's take a look how Sweet is doing. How Sweet's team overall is taking the standings.
Target acquired. There.
Again, I appreciate you guys all for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like on the YouTube side. Don't forget to leave a follow on the Aim Lab side. We are broadcasting in 2 different spots for today.
Got ourselves a bandit out there.
Look at that. Look at the heirloom flux there by Fun FPS. Looks really clean. Looks very, very nice. Unfortunately gets shot, but these things do happen. They do see them. It looks like Reps and Aberlelli definitely fry out in Imperial Hal pretty early on. This is where it definitely kind of becomes a little chaotic here. We're going to see a little bit more of a disrespect from some of the teams that are just going to push because, it's the last round. And we'll see how it kind of shapes up. Who's top 3? The top 3 teams are Synced. Sync's team with 45 points. Sweet's team, excuse me, Sync's team with 45 points. Sweet's team with 42 points. And Baby Nikki's team with 41 points. That's the top 3 teams. They're literally neck and neck. Pretty much every single kill point is going to matter, and every bit of placement point is going to matter for them to really take it away here. I think a lot of them are going to play very, very patiently at the end here. I don't think anybody's really going to push outside of the teams that may not have as high of scores. Fortunately, it's getting fried on the opposite end. The Bubble's there to buy themselves a little time. Sweet's team definitely needs to find an angle. They're getting picked on, and they don't have... Let's see if they have the Ash ult. They do have an Ash ult. They might use it for rotation, and there it goes. Called it before it happened. Just because that's one of the best things you can use for utility to get in and out. And the plus side of having an Ash over a Wraith in that scenario is that it's instantaneous. They have the center of the zone, but we've seen what happens in this little nook here with a couple of Arc Stars that'll ruin your day. This is Sweet's Invitational, or this is Sweet's Invitational. Let's see if he can take it away in his own Invitational.
Enemy at that location.
Which would be pretty crazy. They're going to hold that shot.
Don't let them slip away.
Everyone's kind of got an angle. There's no other fights that are taking place. Are they flying in? Yeah, they are. They should be left alone. They are crafting. Yeah, they should leave them alone. I highly doubt they'll push in on that. And you can see from the map, nobody else is really getting into a firefight. We might have one up on the north side. His Watson, Omnu, and a prize. Apologize if I mispronounce any of these names, by the way. I know I know every single one of these personal lobby, but sometimes you just don't get the pronunciations always right the very first time, Okay, so Lyric and Manday are holding it here. I think they're waiting for them to rotate. They're going to take a little bit of the zone damage. Still, Sweet's team is holding this centerpiece down. These trees provide a lot more cover than you realize, and they're trying to find, you can tell they're trying to find where can we sneak in and get like even more covered than before. If you could get into that crevice there and not be shot, that'd be pretty crazy. Caster, if I may ask, who are you supporting? Listen, anybody who's taking the lead right now, I don't really know who I'm supporting. It's been crazy just to kind of see everyone's just overall performance. So I apologize, we just kind of missed some of the action right there. They actually did fight. I thought they were going to wait for the rotation over. I did not anticipate that they were going to get into a firefight. But only one got knocked so far. Looks like they rotated right on top of them. Let's see if they respect it or if they're going to push on it. That zone's going to start trucking once it hits level 3. And they don't have too far to go. But they do have to worry a little bit here. And there they go. There's a push. If they can knock out this Valkyrie before it's too late. Oh, the Valkyrie does get away. They did manage to get the knock, though. They have a 2v1 situation, and they do wipe it. Wow. That's a recovery. That's one heck of a recovery, and this is huge for them because they are currently in 5th place with 35 points. This is exactly what they needed. They have some points to their name. Let's take a look at some of the action on the south side of the map now. We do have a lot of teams rotating in, but there's a lot of space. Sweet's team is in the center, and they're going to hold that down. And we do not see anybody else is getting into a current firefight. That was big for their team, by the way. Very, very big. Pretty important. 5th place with some kills to the name. If they can keep it together, that will be really huge. Now, right now, as you can tell from the map, this is probably. Let's see if anybody has given us zone information. Anybody's going to give us zone information? All right, the Valkyrie. Let's take a look at where the zone is. Valkyrie, eye in the sky, and Sweet's team. This is going to end right here. I'm almost positive. I've seen the zone in here, but they're pinging the north side for the cover. But Sweet's team has a pretty decent spot. I've seen it end like right on this around this bridge here. The question is, will it? Will it actually pull there? So Sync's team is currently in 1st place. They don't have any kills to the name. The current kill leader of the lobby is looking like Alberlelli. Alberlelli is currently the kill leader with the most amount of kills and damage. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but listen, when you get these when you see the damage being spread out, especially with such high caliber players, it just makes a lot of sense that it spreads out as much as it does. Not one person is able to really mop away this lobby. Look at this. They're going for an aggressive rotation. Makes sense. They're looking for additional kill points. Oh, and there's another one flying across. You got 2 teams up in the air. 2 Valk teams flying for the rotation. They're ducking and weaving, dodging bullets. This is where men become men, women or girls become women, whatever the saying is. And now they found a little bit of positioning, but this is getting pretty tight here and pretty ridiculous. Yeah, we do see the infamous Mirage here. You know, sometimes when you just got to test things out. You got to test the waters, especially in tournaments like this. You know, why not? Give it a whirl and see what works and what doesn't. You never know. Right now, the team on the north side has the most free real estate. Sweet's team is holding together in the center. I'm surprised they're not getting shot at from every which angle right now. It's only a matter of time until they get picked on, which is already starting to happen. Zeros become heroes. That's the saying. There we go. Thank you so much from chat. While things are quiet and this is the last round, I just want to give again a shout out to AIM Lab for presenting this tournament along with Sweet, for getting as many team captains and making this become a reality. There's been a lot of fantastic names, teams, pros, content creators, all a part of this tournament. We're on Game 5. This is the last round of the tournament for today. We've kept things very, very airtight in terms of rounds starting, making sure we have very little downtime. And I hope you guys have really enjoyed watching one of the first few tournaments. I think there's probably been 3 other tournaments that have taken place, but one of the first tournaments that have been strictly done on Storm Point. So if you guys have feedback, what you enjoy, what you watch, you know, maybe a dev might be watching. Maybe somebody from the competitive side might actually take a look to see how things are going. And you know, it's exciting. It's because seeing Storm Point played competitively is historic because, you know, it hasn't been done yet. So what you're watching is essentially history in the making, and as things start to change and grow, well, it's just exciting. It's exciting overall. And we're looking at the teams. What team is going to break out into a fight next? That's really the question. We do have Rogue's team about to run on Vane's roster. case you guys don't know, 100 Thieves roster was actually the first place team that was with Kangarna prior. So Vayne has the experience, has had the championship blood in them. And it's interesting that we see less Octane. We do see a lot of less Octane from before. There's the bubble. Are they going to go for an additional scan? Do they have time for a scan? Oh, there's a rotation. Now Vayne and their team are going to find positioning. Honestly, where I'm unsure if it even exists. I'm unsure if there's even space that really exists up here. And then they go for another rotation. We got Valcolt left and right. You got rockets going up here, rockets going up here. It's rocket power. It's Team Rocket. I don't know how many more rocket jokes I can make before it becomes in the zone of Naughty Land. We're going to have multiple teams all battling it out here in a minute. You got, look how many rosters are all on top of each other. You see them up above. You see them down below. They're located everywhere within this facility. By the way, this is a facility that you see in the trailer where Ash pulls out her little sword. And on height right there, actually. It's actually, and we do have a Ash, and she actually uses her ult in the opposite angle. So very much trailer-like. If you've seen the Apex Legends trailer, you would see that. And you get a Valk, and you get a Valk, and you get a Valk. Everyone get Valk. Well, everyone is pretty much running Valk now. So the question is there a way? Oh my gosh, they're getting shot from every which angle. They're getting picked on, just like high school all over again. Got his banner at least. But they're getting picked on from Taxi's team from up above. All by himself. He's just going to have to kind of rat. I feel for him. I've got chills. I feel like he's just about to get blasted from every which angle. And they're going to drop. That's it. There's a nice little wall bounce right around the corner. And unfortunately, Rack is probably going to go down here. There's only so many different areas that he can go. Gets a nice armor swap. And there it is. Designful coming in with the nice wingman shots. The G2 crew has some of the best wingman shots I've ever seen on controller. Just putting it out there. It looks like they're on mouse and keyboard. I swear. They're cracked out of their minds and insane. Let's see how Sweet's roster is actually holding up in the center. They did manage to... They're looting up over here. Look at that. They have the north side of the map to their name. They have everything there. There's only 13 squads remaining. We are now closing on the third zone, and we are nearing the end of the tournament. Yeah, I apologize. It did miss Sync's big fight. Let's take a look at their... They did go out early, unfortunately. That's the beauty of a battle royale. There's a million fights that break out. Sometimes you can't catch every single one of them. Sweet's team just won against Rogue's team. When we take a look, Sweet, if they survive, they honestly could win this. With Baby Nikki and Sweet, the duo queue themselves have a very strong opportunity right now. Let's take a look. Let me see how they're doing over here. Force What's right now in 4th place with 38 points. As long as they hold it together, make sure they don't get pushed out, they could have a really big opportunity. Baby Nikki, let's take a look at their team. They do have nice height. They do have nice positioning. This could either go to Sweet or Baby Nikki at the moment. Looking really, really solid. Once they can get a knock. They do have to rotate in. This is going to be a really hard push for Sweet's team. Where are the top 3 in terms of kill points? Sync's team was at 45. Sweet's team was at 42. Baby Nikki's team is at 41. Force What at 38. Total points. Their KP, Sync's at 20. Sweet 29. Baby Nikki 17. Force What roster at 14. So pretty solid there. We're going to hold on Sweet's team and Baby Nikki just because they're the teams that have... Right now, they're the ones with the most points. Look at that crack. Can he get the knock here? If he gets a knock, oh my word, it's so close. He probably has about 60 HP. If he can finish that there, Fun FPS is actually popping off of the rampage. Imagine if he got that knock and did the biggest upset in the whole world there. Baby Nikki has an angle here with Skittle Cakes. They are absolutely destroying them at that angle. So I know there's other fights, but listen, these are the top 2 teams right now. Baby Nikki's roster as well as Sweet's roster. And we've got to keep a close eye on them to see who's going to clutch it out. Especially with Sweet's team trying to find position that it doesn't exist. And there's a knock from Fun FPS. Or is he going to throw his ult, or is he going to throw an Arc Star? What is he going to do in terms of buying themselves some time? They have barely any real estate space over there. And there's a tactical that is going out from Sweet. does connect a little bit of damage, and the tactical from Ash has gone out. They have very little space there, and he is going to just go for free. It's free real estate. Sweet and fun FPS are just absolutely shredding. Unfortunately, Drum Bum and his team just got caught at a position. Just very unfortunate. And there they go. Now we got top 3 with Sweet taking kill leader. This is Sweet Invitational. Let's see if he's managing to keep it together and take home the gold. These are the top 2 teams that are right now Baby Nikki as well as Sweet's roster. We go back and forth. Sweet and them have a little bit of an uphill battle compared to Baby Nikki. Let's take a look at Fun FPS. With that Rampage, has been doing absolute work with it today. Let's take a look at Sweet's POV. He's going to recover and reset. They're going to back out from this. They're going to be a little smarter with it. They're not trying to get too greedy, because if they do get greedy, this is going to cost them the tournament, because Baby Nikki and their roster is just waiting for them to make a mistake. These are our top 2 teams to really pay attention to. Let's take a look at Force What as well. We'll bounce between these 3 remaining teams. This is it, guys. Force What is also in 4th place. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on with Force What's team? Enoch, unfortunately, was able to connect every single volt shot, but at least they're able to recover and reset. Presley is low. He wasn't able to get the bat off. He's popping a Q to buy himself a little bit of time, and unfortunately, Presley has gone down yet again. And it looks like Force What, and unless they manage to rat up, this, is going to be potentially knocked out here in a second. Let's take a look at Baby Nikki as well as... Wait a minute. Okay, there's Sweet's roster. For a minute there, I thought they got knocked, then we missed something. Let's just hold on Sweet, because he is our current kill leader, see if he's able to maintain that kill leader. Right now, looks like this is going to be pushing Sync's roster down a little bit. They have to be careful. This isn't looking good. Can he hold it together just a little bit longer just to get some placement here? And unfortunately does go out. Force and Baby Nikki's roster are looking really hot. If Baby Nikki's team wins this, they literally could take 1st place overall.
Bogey right here.
And Force What just ratting down below. They're in 4th place. They have ultimate height right now. Force What grabbing a kill at the bottom there. Really snagging it. Getting those extra points, because listen, they could push up to get some of that prize money for 1st and 3rd place, you know? That's very, very important points for them. Looks like Arcane is about to go out in just a second here. Holding it together, praying. Oh, there's a nade. That's going to be a nasty nade. He's blocking it like a good teammate. Holding it together best he can. Zenial is ratting for his dear life. Knows that there's a team nearby, but can't really do anything about it. Hold on Prize as well as Baby Nikki's roster here in a second. Give them a little bit of love, a little bit of attention. With Omnu holding it together for his roster. They're about to pop an ult accelerant. I don't think they're going to have this in time for this next zone, but they'll probably have it for the one after. Oh, there we go. Never mind. They're going to use 2 ult accels and get his ultimate right back up. We'll take a look at the overall score for what we see here. We'll bounce between these 2. These 2 really... Oh, there they go. They're going for the push. Was he able to... He missed the Arcstar stick there, potentially. That could have happened. And there it is. There is a nice spray. Good team shooting on their part. They have to watch out for that bubble dancing, though. That Gibraltar can make and break a major play here. Not to take too much zone damage either. This is not the clean fight that they're looking for, but is pretty decent as long as other teams do show up. Skittlecakes is waiting to see if he should revive or what he's going to do. He's got very limited time, and there is a team flying right back up. There is a tactical going out. He's going to try to find his positioning. If we get good placement here, this could be massive points for him. Let's go back up to the team right up above. Drax's team is holding it together. A lot of teams are ratting this out. There's just nonstop rats left and right. We'll see if Zen is able to get this kill here. He's going to be caught out of position. Does go for the crack. Does get the armor swap. He's got very little time remaining. And there's a nade to counteract the pressure. There is nonstop rats everywhere, unfortunately. And there is another team that goes out. That was Drax roster, and he's Force What is just holding it together here, going for as much placement points as possible. And let's see if Baby Nikki team is in. Look at that. They need those points. 3rd place goes to Baby Nikki, and then of course Drax's team takes first place. Now, I don't think that first place was enough to push them all the way to first, but I think based on the score points, Baby Nikki's team does move up to first. And based on the amount of kill points, that could push Force What into at least third. We're going to have to see. It's going to be really, really, really close in terms of points, but I'm pretty sure that Baby Nikki is going to take that away with them. I appreciate all of you guys for being a part of the stream for today. We're going to get these scores up in just a moment for all of you guys and just take a look at the breakdown. And then once everything wraps up, we'll talk about who won the AIM Lab tournament and everything and kind of break things down from there. So 2 seconds. So let's take a look at Baby Nikki had. Yeah, I think they should move up quite a bit. It'll be close, but I think they won the tournament, which is kudos to them. Huge congrats. It was a very, very intense group. Very solid tournament. Hopefully you guys enjoyed what you've seen today. Once we get the scores and once we find out who overall was in first place for first place and second and third, and we'll post those standings. Trying to get the scores from AIM Lab, and once the scores are updated, we'll talk through those in just a second. I appreciate all of you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the tournament, we'll check in a moment the scores and where everything finally landed. Pretty solid tournament overall. We kept things very, very tight and close knit. So these are the scores based on AIM Lab. So let me pull these up for you guys. So for AIM Lab, I know it's really small. I apologize for that. For AIM Lab, first place was Rogue with a score of 139,000. He won $3,000. RKN in second place, 138,000, 1,500, and Taishin in third place with 137,000 with 500. So that is for the AIM Lab portion. So in just a second here, I will get you the scores for the overall placement for who won first place and third place and first, second, and third, and so forth. So in just a moment, we'll take a look at that breakdown for you guys, and then we'll wrap up, and we'll hopefully you guys really enjoyed the tournament from what you saw. I appreciate all of you guys for being here and watching. Again, as we wrap up the tournament for today, I'll switch it over and just say hi to everybody. Hello. That this was presented by AIM Lab. The fact that they were able to support this tournament, that Sweet was able to grab as many friends and participants to join as team captains. Team captains, huge shout out for all of you guys finding your fellow colleagues to join into this tournament. This is one of the first that we had overall on Storm Point. Everything looked like it went pretty flawlessly. We definitely will let us know feedback of what you think about Storm Point on a competitive standing. Hey, Mar, how are we looking on the scoring? Okay. All right, scoring is almost done, and once it's done, we'll break down that score, and then we'll wrap up. All right, 1 second here. All right, these scores are going to be updated here in real time. Let me grab the... you see a beautiful little Watson in the background there. So 2 seconds while I grab the scoring. All right, if I can't grab it, give me another second here. And then we'll break down everything. All right, scores are done. Thank you, confirming scores are done. All right, let's take a look at the scores. Scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. We have Baby Nikki, who has taken first place. Huge congrats to Baby Nikki. That's a $3,000 prize pool split between the three of them. Force What, second place, with Sweet coming in third place as well. That comes based on placement points. Based on placement, because Sweet and Force are tied at second. Are we going based on total kill points, or you want to go based on placement? And then kills. All right, we're reviewing the placement and kills, but they're pretty close. All right, while they discuss that ruling. First place, 23 total kills with Nikki coming in at 54 points. Force What and Sweet's team at 51. So we have our top three teams located here. Drac in fourth place with 49. Synced in fifth place with 45. A Prize coming in 44. Taxi 37. Points: Noob King 35 points, RKN 35, Rogue 32, Zenio 25, Vane 18, AC 17, Janie 17, Hawkes 16, Aberlily 15, Reptar 7, and Rocker 6, Drumbum 3, Promos 2. So fantastic plays across the board, ladies and gentlemen. Once we get confirmation here, Mari, Sweet was saying it's kills. You think he's trolling? Oh, I guess it's true. He could be trolling. We're just trying to confirm in just a second, and then we'll wrap up. So there you have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it goes based on placement. We're going to confirm, but nonetheless, you see your top 3 teams, Baby Nikki, Force Sweat, and Sweet. Pretty overall balanced lobby across the board. Very, very solid. I will be sure to timestamp everything on the YouTube side. And if you enjoyed on the AIM Lab side, go back on the VOD and take a look. Don't forget to follow on the AIM Lab channel. So, you have the tiebreakers? Okay. Take a look at the tiebreaker rules. Alright, looking at the tiebreaker rules for just a second here. Based on placement, the team with the best finishing placement lowest number in the single match wins the tiebreaker. Initially. Yep. Here, I'm gonna join Discord real quick, and just so you know, Stefan, I'm hopping in, then just in case. All right, I'm gonna hop in just so we can get the ruling, and then we can wrap up here. So this was the tech team behind the scenes. You got Marianas, and you have Stefan as well from AIM Lab. So this is our tech crew. So let's we're just figuring out the final ruling based on the top 3.
Yeah, so basically we've just got to look at their individually highest scoring games between Sweet and Force. So, both at 13, 7, 19, 6, 16,
Yep.
0, and then 9. It's going to end up being, it's actually in the correct order.
It's in the correct order?
What?
Okay.
Yep.
Well, looking at this, this is in the correct order. First place is Baby Nikki, second was Force What, and third was Sweet. Despite the kills, based on ALGS ruling, which is what the rules that we're following and the scoring and everything. All right, everyone. He was correct. He's trolling. I'm going to mute up real quick and wrap up. All right, everybody. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to watch. I'm going to put the end screen here. I'm just going to say a big farewell to everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who was a big part of this. And thank you, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, show your support, and we'll all speak very, very soon. Bye, everybody.